hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I didn't mean to start the show like that, but hey, y'all. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Real Precious. Thank you guys for coming back. Definitely hit that like button if you're here. Hit the like button if you are here. The like button lets the algorithm know that we are live and in full effect. Okay. Somebody has something to play in the background. Please mute it if you don't mind. All right. So good evening. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. We are back with another show. A good one tonight. Just gonna have some casual conversation, but all of the conversation is going to revolve around communication. Communication. That's one thing that gets caught up in um one thing we get caught up in relationships is on communication. Can you guys still hear me? Because I'm going through some things on
Yeah.
my end.
Yeah.
Okay. Did I freeze? Let me see.
Yes, you are frozen now.
Oh, you hear me?
Buffering. Buffering.
Not gonna say that.
Let me see here. I might have to come out and come back in, which is going to be crazy. Let me see. All right, y'all gonna have to talk about the game.
Yeah, we'll be here
Well,
with
all right, I'll be right back.
Yo, man. How y'all feeling about this NCAA tournament that's already kicking off? I seen Drake was kicking Mizzou's butt right now. Well, beforehand, that might be Mizzou might have came back. KU just lost, so y'all know I'm feeling the effects of that. And yeah, man. Who y'all got in y'all bracket?
So you partial to your little Midwest teams, huh, Frank?
I don't really even watch Mizzou when it comes to basketball. I'm a Mizzou football fan.
Yeah, I'm
But
just saying you like Kansas, you probably like Nebraska, Colorado, all that.
no, it's nothing but Mizzou and KU.
All right.
And
I didn't even fill out a bracket, man.
Yeah, I ain't feel out none either, I think.
I didn't fill out a bracket, man. I remember the days we used to rush to get you have to have the pristine bracket, the one that lasts the longest, and then you told everybody else you had like 18 brackets and shit. This is the one, the best one is the one, But no, I didn't fill out one.
And she is back here with us.
All right. Thank you guys. Tough technical difficulties over here. Okay. Thank you so much. What y'all was talking about?
You?
look, yeah, you and none of your business. Nah, we talking about the NCAA.
Okay. Well, let's try this again. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your patience. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see there are people tuned in from other channels that are watching, so I appreciate you guys. If you can hit the like button, when you hit the like button, I will actually attract people from those pages to come over here to see what's going on. So definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the pages that you're on. And if you're already subscribed to them, subscribe to me. Okay. You know me through them. So subscribe to me too. Okay. Welcome guys. How you guys doing this evening?
Pretty good. NCAA, all the athletes should be starting to get athletic,
Okay.
Springtime. It's up. And this is the second day of spring.
Yeah.
I thought it was the 21st, isn't it?
Oh,
Today's the first day, isn't it?
What's today's day?
The 20th.
20.
You like me, Spurg, every day is the same, man.
First, right. Which y'all know. I don't even know how y'all keep up with the date or the time. I appreciate y'all for always being on time for the show, but being retired and all, y'all know. Y'all just kicking back.
We only have a few things on the calendar. That's why.
Some people get the
we
lid
got to keep up with the days. We just got to keep up with the time.
Oh, okay.
Some people get the lid at life, man. I see how y'all do.
They truly do. All right. So since it kicked me out, I do have to put my videos back up, but I will give a shout out to those who are in the chat now. Sean's in the chat saying good evening to all, like, comment, subscribe to the Real Precious. Champ Talk reaction. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the panel, and let's get active. Fishing to Fit. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you as well. Ian Matthew Bolden. Communication is key, but it's how you communicate that will determine if the communication is effective. Damn it! I got those games recording. Y'all giving this away. My bad. It's my fault. I was having technical difficulties. I told them to talk about the game. I know. Keep them busy for a little bit. Hit that like button and subscribe. Hey, sis. Good evening, Precious and panel. Coach Ferg, welcome all who listen in. Yes, those who have an ear, listen to what's going on tonight. It might have a great effect on you. Different perspectives. You know, we come here and get different perspectives, the male perspective, but that does not mean women are not welcome on the panel. Y'all know I dropped the link after the first topic. So if you want to come on a panel, you're more than welcome. Just be respectful. Okay. Watch what you say. Watch what you say, like Whitney said. Okay. All right. If not, you out. You out of here. You're gone. All right. All right. So we're going to get this first video up. Like I said, it knocked on my videos out of here. But I have them here. And so we're going to get into this first video. This first video is a girl sitting in her car talking to the camera.
Getting in a relationship so complicated in America, or maybe it's just Miami, but in Jamaica, a man will see a girl he likes, carry her out, and say, yo, we're there, because they had a good time. He likes her vibe. You might be his third girlfriend, but that's not the point. Point is, it's simple. So guys, it is mind-boggling when a man in Miami says, there's the getting to know phase, then you start planning dates, then you start dating, then you start talking heavy, then maybe you fall into a relationship. And this conversation came about because he got my number. Every day we're talking, he'll be like, oh, where you at? Let me pull up. Or, oh, pull up on me. I'm at the club. And I'll be like, do you like me? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, you haven't invited me on a date? So I was kind of confused. He said, oh, this is the getting to know phase. I was just getting to know you before I start planning dates. How you gonna get to know me in the club? I don't even like going to the club unless you're my man, because anything can happen. And I'm not saying Jamaican men are super romantic, but they want to get in your brain a little bit. They want to talk to you. And I thought you get to know people on dates. So which one is it? Guys, help me here, because I'm lost. Don't you start hanging out and randomly pulling up after y'all had a couple of dates and you like each other and decide we together? Or am I delusional?
So is she delusional, or is there a pace to how men date?
There might be a pace, but she's delusional.
Okay, why do you think she's delusional?
I mean, just her rhetoric. She just was, hey, I'm your girl. It's funny. My little nephew, when he was about 2 or 3 years old, he used to walk up to girls and say, "You're my girlfriend." And that's what it sounded like she was just saying with the Jamaican cat. He come up, "You're my girlfriend." Might be the third one. That's where the delusion sets in. But it's all right. So, I mean, to each his own, but that's the delusion that I was speaking of.
Yeah, she's generalizing too much. I mean, with Jamaican guys, I mean, but the point really is she's leaving part of the story out, okay? For her to feel that way, she's got to add in that he's busting the cheeks. So I mean, let's just put it on the table. You're going to sit down there and talk and communicate. You got to say what you mean, baby. Listen, the guy says, well, when she said, we going out, that means, yeah, she's thinking so because he did the deed plenty of times. So she's assuming they're together, right? So it's kind of funny because I have an anecdotal,
Good.
In time, you great.
I said, listen, you know what? I mean, when we were like courting, I said, listen, when you're my girl. She said, yeah, I always thought I was, after we had all these conversations. So you got to really say it as a guy. So you solidify it because they have these thoughts. You got to let them know. So, but she left that real critical piece out. Now, that has nothing to do with whether a guy's Jamaican or an American man. There's American men who get right to it. And there's Jamaican guys who don't give a shit about talking to you. They just putting that little white wax on your ass and they're rubbing it and all that stuff on the raft. You never seen them? You ever seen a Jamaican guy? They ain't doing no talking. And you can't understand the fucking guys anyway.
Okay. Our King, we're not gonna do that. I actually admire their accents and stuff. We're not gonna do that. Don't say you can't understand them.
I had my plan, man. You know what?
I think after I really
to make a slam to go below.
I like that dialect. I think
Precious, I bet not see no video of you laying on that table with you getting rubbed down by.
Oh, you'll never see that.
Okay, I'm just saying though. See, you get a husband, a good husband with some good hands, some good working hands. He do all that.
Yeah,
that's their communication skill.
As well.
Those guys are there for a reason. African men do have a bad rap of having that polyamorous lifestyle. Like they have more than one woman. Some of them can afford more than one woman, and so that's why they are so aggressive. They have a bad rap. I don't know, but they do have that notion to them. So I don't think she was being delusional in saying that. She seems as though she's from that culture, so she would know what's going on in the culture. But I think she's saying that they are more aggressive in letting you know what's up than American guys are.
No, Precious, I think you got it sort of misunderstood, right? This goes to show she's all American. She ain't got nothing to do with no Jamaican, because she tried to totally dismiss the fact that he was banging her out, like our thing said. Don't think about that, because that's how they language. If you speak ooh gaga to a woman from America, you so beautiful,
right?
You precious. Why do these guys treat you like that? Man, and they over on vacation, he gonna get her some of that Jamaican rum, and if she smoke weed, he gonna get her good and high. I'm telling you, it's an easy game when sisters go out of the country. It's an easy game, whether they're in Africa, Asia, wherever. Somebody come up talking about you beautiful queen American, come on over here and get you on that comfortable bed. He gonna try all his tricks on you, all his little heritage and nature tricks that they have over there. Because every race of men had their own little twerks in their sex life. That's why in those countries like Arabia and all that, they can have 6 or 7 wives. They the king over there. So he gonna treat a woman that hey, beautiful girl, come over here. Your legs are tired. Let me rub them. And then when he lay them down, he gonna knock their box out and they gonna come back mad at you because you ain't treated right.
I thought we were married.
I'm just saying it's unfortunate because everything she had on was fake. She's sitting in her car. Car love is different. It's different today. But she young though. Young people, they caught up in that, and that's gonna mess them up. She probably about 25, 26, man. Dude, but she probably got a nice body and everything. But
Right?
Can you replay that joint for me?
Yes, I'm definitely gonna do that.
Why do y'all make getting in a relationship so complicated in America? Or maybe it's just Miami. But in Jamaica, a man will see a girl he likes, carry her out, and say, yo, we're dead, because they had a good time. He likes her vibe. You might be his third girlfriend, but that's not the point. Point is, it's simple. So guys, it is mind-boggling when a man in Miami says, there's the getting to know phase. Then you start planning dates. Then you start dating. Then you start talking. Then you start talking heavy. Then maybe you fall into a relationship. And this conversation came about because he got my number. Every day we're talking, he'll be like, oh, where you at? Let me pull up. Or, oh, pull up on me. I'm at the club. And I'll be like, do you like me? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, you haven't invited me on a date? So I was kind of confused. He said, oh, this is the getting to know phase. I was just getting to know you before I start planning dates. How you gonna get to know me in the club? I don't even like going to the club unless you're my man, because anything can happen. And I'm not saying Jamaican men are super romantic, but they want to get in your brain a little bit. They want to talk to you. And I thought you get to know people on dates. So which one is it? Guys, help me here, because I'm lost. Don't you start hanging out and randomly pulling up after y'all had a couple of dates and you like each other and decide we together? Or am I delusional?
They want to get in your...
Okay. All right. So what I took from that, I took a couple different things. All right. So the first thing I took was I agree with you, Precious, about she feel like the Jamaican men are more aggressive. You know what she said? She said they pull up on her and just like, yo, whatever that word is, you know, we bay, like you mine. And you know what I'm saying, just all based off of the vibe and the connection. So that is if that happens over there like that, then yeah, that would make them more aggressive. The other thing that I took from it was it's two parts. Is one is like how we do date in America, and then like as American men, most of us like a lot who be out here dating and shit like that. That's generally how it goes. But then the other thing is like regional dating, like how, because like you don't date in Miami the same way you date in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? Because the vibes is here. We don't got all like there's not all the glitz and glam right down the street where you got Lamborghinis and all that outside the parking lot everywhere you go. You know, everybody coming there renting Lambos and all these different type of cars. You know what I'm saying? To go down, to just drive down the strip. You got Constant Stars and all these people there. Like he said, meet me at the club where I'm gonna stun at. You know what I'm saying? Where can I show you I got pool at? I got a section. Me and my boys, we got a section. You come get some drinks. You know, you might see Waka Flocka over there. You know what I'm saying? You might see Little Wayne over there. You just don't know, but we gonna be in here vibing and we just gonna have a good time. And I can show you that I can provide a good time. And you know, when you somewhere else, you know, maybe like that's like a Vegas type of thing, a Cali type of thing, depending on what part, or a New York type of thing, and Florida type of thing, where Miami especially, where you can just get away with that type of stuff. You just impress them all with your money or your you know, the lifestyle that they could live or whatever right off of the bat. And we definitely got stages of dating, like y'all. All right, it's, you know, we getting to know each other. Okay, like it's looking like it's going that way. All right, now, okay, bet, well, you my girl now, like you know, whatever the case may be, you know, now we working our way towards marriage and all of that good stuff. So yeah, but yeah, she sounded delusional because most of us probably wouldn't even think about a lot of the stuff that she was talking about, especially if you're not from a place like Miami. You're not dating like that. So of course, she's definitely gonna sound hella delusional to you because you're not out there like that. It's just, you know, but I've heard stories about people in Miami dating and all of that type of lifestyle, and it's a different animal. Just like if I go to LA, it's a different animal.
Frank, let me just say this to this point. The one thing we're not talking about, if she was in Jamaica and she's talking about comparing that to a guy in her hometown, right? Mm-hmm. In Jamaica, she ain't got no time to bullshit. I'm out there for a short period of time, and let's get to it. And that's what they take advantage of. In Miami, if you did with your indigenous people, you know, if a man just came out to you and say, let's get it. Now, all of a sudden, she's in TikTok telling that the guy's just a dog. Mm-hmm. Now, right? that's true. So I'm saying, you know, so the perspective is that she did not to play game. Go ahead, Preston.
We're talking about Jamaica as if it's for you guys. It's
example. No, this is the example.
But she's talking about the authentic men from there. She's not saying like going on vacation and you meet a man.
I got the impression she was there.
No, but even in her description of what she was saying, she was just saying her interaction with the men there, right? They're coming in with the ooh, wah, wah. She's talking about the interactions with the men compared to if she meet a guy in Miami or whatever, he's saying, catch up with me. I'm not coming up behind you. See, in Jamaica, they got, don't listen. They 10 years ahead because they know the women are coming there single by herself with a body.
I think the Precious.
It's over.
I know what you're saying, Precious. I thought she was traveling. I didn't think there was a Jamaican man.
Right. That's where I think there's a.
She don't travel.
Nah,
I mean, she
in
talking
Miami,
about
It's not
she don't
about
travel.
traveling. Y'all hear Jamaica and y'all
Yeah.
hear booty rubs. Like, it's
In
not
She
about
ain't.
traveling. It's about somebody being from
From
New
that
York,
period.
like they from South Carolina. Like they're
Well,
like
But
they're just
no.
different. It's
So
not
she in
about
America? Oh, okay.
But I
She
was
in
gonna
America.
say I was gonna say not even that though. But if you look at a place like if you my bad, Sean. But if you look at a place like Miami, you look at a place like New York, those places are they got so many different dynamics there of different cultures, different people. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to New York, you're gonna see a lot of Grenadians, a lot of Trinidadians. You know what I'm saying? So they may, you know what I'm saying? You might see them around and things like that. Miami, you're gonna see little Haiti. So you know what I'm saying? You're gonna see all of those different dynamics. She could have been in Miami and ran into a Haitian dude, ran into a Jamaican dude, and he ran up on her like, yo, you mine. You know what I'm saying? And that could have been it now, or she could have family that's from Jamaica, because that is a place where a lot of them go.
Yeah, I think she was in Miami and she was talking about a Jamaican man in Miami, or the Jamaican men in Miami. And if she was, that's part of why.
Jamaica. This is why we listen to these stories.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it.
Yeah. But he's doing the same thing no matter where he's at. If he can be in California and he run up on her, he gonna hit her with that smooth talk, and he gonna run up in them guts quick. He ain't waiting 90 days. If she take him out, they going to get to it. If he take her out, somewhere in between there, it's over. He gonna knock her down and move on.
Yeah, the delusion is he trying to get in my brain. That's what she said. He ain't trying to get in her brain, unless her brain is what we call our brain. She's trying to get in something, but it ain't her brain.
No, what? Okay, so where I believe she's coming from is she's saying that man is going to talk to her in a manner where she, knows where the relationship is going. Now, whether it goes there or not is irrelevant. However, in the American culture, she's saying that there is no conversation where wording and things of that nature makes her believe that's why she said, do you like me? Like you want to, and Arpan, you said it, you have to communicate, you have to say it. Because if you're just asking a girl just to hang out and things of that nature, men think, oh, well, she should know that I like her. I want to be around her and I want to spend time with her, which is true. However, men are men, like y'all saying. The Jamaican man is just like the American man. They both gonna want to sleep with her. However, the Jamaican man is actually giving her, and I hate to say the word, but fantasy that it's going to go somewhere. Whether it does or not, again, is a different story. But an American man won't say the words, and he may go through the actions, but the Jamaican man is going to do both. They're gonna go out. She's gonna know that they're together because he's going to say those things to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, Tarot Destroyer. I don't know who channel that person is on, but please block their comments, ban them from this channel, ban them from the live. I don't know who they are, but I don't need the comments full of their white boyfriend and they dead parent. I don't need that. So whoever channel they're on, please see them out. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had a wrench.
They don't got no link to it, so they might be here from somebody else.
It's a link, meaning that they're linked to the chat through somebody else's channel.
Yeah, they ain't coming to me.
Mentally, if you can just ban them, please. Because they're on somebody's channel, I can't do it from my end. I don't know why, but I can't. Somebody.
Yeah. Give me a wrench. Give us a wrench over here, and we'll do police.
Hey, we'd have got their ass up out of here real quick.
All right, so let's read some of the comments and move on. All right, so Ian says, so men definitely will want to be in a situation where you both go out, talk, entertain, and repeat a few times. Now, there are men, low-key like myself, who will tell a woman, I'm going to have you one day as my girl/wife. But yeah, any man or woman would want to go out and see what's with the girl on a social level to make sure there is a connection beyond looks.
Tarot Destroyer. Melanie.
So yeah, what I was gonna say is that while they might be aggressive, they're also possessive often. And part of that, you're going to be my girlfriend is part of the possession. Like he said, she said, I'm sorry, you might be the third or fourth girlfriend, but so the delusion is, so what is the point? All right, so he's telling you you're gonna be his girlfriend. And what does that matter?
Well, the actions are showing up behind it. I don't think it's just words.
No, the action. She said that. All right, she's going to be his third girlfriend is kind of what she made reference to. You might be my third girlfriend. Well, what's the point? That's what your goal is. I'm just curious.
Well, it shouldn't be, but they also probably have a different culture too. There's different. The point is that there are differences between the two. And so
the point is that she don't care. Though, right? She don't care. She don't mind being the third one, long as she having a good time. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yes, that's what it is. I'll pay. While she getting
Tarot,
on see.
Tarot Destroyer is not going.
Yeah, I don't know how they get into yours.
So no one sees.
Yes, we do. Melanick said he was looking for it. You gotta
They would be on your chat. Like they're not showing up.
Yeah, they're not in mine.
They're not in mine either.
So
they're not in mine.
They
I only got a few people.
Hold on.
Sorry, y'all. We gonna take, because I can't. It says this comment on a guest destination. Only your guest can delete the comment or ban the user.
Yeah, that's surprising. I'm surprised about that.
Literally, you don't see it because they're not in our, like, you're watching from my channel. So they're not in our chat. So they're either in Frank's.
I'm looking at my chat now. I ain't seeing him in my chat. I only got Sherry Bird, Girl Dad, Lady Novelle, and who's that? A-Dub. Salute.
But do y'all see the comment?
We can see the comments. I
can see it on yours on this side.
Only on yours, and it don't even show the link on ours. On from one of our channel on our end, on my end, I can't see a link to it.
I can't see nothing.
Did you check yours?
You know what's funny though?
Sean, man, check it out, man.
You got in here, Sean.
You might have to go out and come back in. Just go out.
Yeah, here's another thing. You know, on your page, I'm looking at it from your page, and I still can't see that person either. I don't even see it, as if that person is logged in.
So they said
you're not watching.
Ladies said it's Sean's.
It had to be Sean. You need to go out. You need to just log all the way out. Just go all the way
to ban them.
Yeah, ban them. That's what it is.
Comments and ban them.
Yeah, they saying some wild shit.
Sean, man, is there people out there where you at, man, acting like that, man? Get them together out there, man. Get them together. That's some wild shit right there, man.
So
I'm starting to see that a little bit more too around people's channels, man. See,
but people got to be on it. I don't have the patience. I'm sorry.
Lady is right. Lady is right. Like, we everybody we gotta make sure we got a mod in our shit when we share it too. Everybody from Mars.
Everyone, you're on the channel, so you don't, you're not necessarily seeing the comments unless you're
gonna make a mod.
I got all of y'all as mods on my channel, so
Shit, I ain't know. I'm gonna make all y'all mine now, man. I'm gonna get it together. Just in case, man. Just in case.
I'm gonna have to add a couple more people from the chat one of these days, man. Sheesh.
That's exactly what they're there for.
That's crazy, man.
Right. And then wherever it's coming from, you know, like Menelik said, sounds like a disgusting troll or a virus. Like,
yeah,
that's done. I just they're going, right? See, I don't see them on your regular page. I just see it in here as we're logged
they're
on.
not a disgusting friend of mine, Arpain. They're one of y'all's.
Yeah. hey, Sean, man. Hey, Sean, what you doing over there, man? What kind of people you bringing here, man?
Contaminating our lives. Get them heifers out of here.
Oh man, that's crazy, man.
I'm sorry.
Man.
All right, so let me continue on with the comments. Ian also says, and by the way, Jamaican men don't try to get in your brain; they're just blunt and are a little more aggressive with females.
Oh, definitely.
Hey, girl, says she has a point, and it's nothing wrong with her sharing an observation. I like to know how he expects to get to know her without dating.
Okay, I can answer that one.
Go ahead, answer it.
I mean, what do you mean? How to get to know somebody without dating? I mean, it depends on what she wants. Some women don't want to date. This lady, she sounded like she found a guy. He came straight forward, and he must have looked good to her because she sounded like she said, "Okay, you know, you were direct," and there we are. That's the date right there. As soon as we met, we're getting down. I don't know what the Jamaican guy had to do. What did he have to do? Oh shit, she's still there.
No.
I don't know. Dating isn't that a part of getting to know someone though? Even if you do meet up with somebody the first time, wouldn't you want to do it again?
I just don't get it. It doesn't seem like she required the Jamaican guy to really date her. It sounded like she said he came up there and said a couple of magic words, and they were off to the races.
No.
Okay, I misunderstand.
That's not how I'm perceiving that. I'm not perceiving that way.
Okay, you put your precious mind in her words.
I'm perceiving it in a way where, yes, after they have gone on dates, the Jamaican man is saying, all right, you my girl. Like, this is what it is. Whereas an American man will want to hang out with you, who'll want to go here and there with you, talk to you forever, but he'll never come out and say, I want you to be my girl.
Okay, so I hear that, right? But we're missing a couple of pieces, right? It sounds like, because sometimes you'll hear women saying, the guy don't even want to get to know me. He just wants to get busy. This guy is saying, I want to get to know you. And first of all, I'm assuming the guy who wants to just take his time to know her, I don't think he's getting any draws because he keeps putting all this stuff off. So she's saying, well, come on, man, you got to be a little bit more decisive and speed this stuff up, right? And then, are we going together? It just seems like she has different rules for different guys. That's what I'm saying. It's just, because some women say they want a guy to pursue him a little bit, take him out and stuff. Let's get to know each other. Now she's saying getting to know her is it's like too much overhead. Tell me what you want. Let's bang it out. Am I your girlfriend? Now, after a couple of sessions, that's what it sounds like. The Jamaican will tell her anything she wants. I mean, this particular story, not a Jamaican, but this particular story.
That you want.
Anything she wants. Okay. Oh yeah, you my girlfriend, baby. Yeah, you my honey. God blind.
Precious, the big point of this whole her anecdotal conversation, right? The whole issue that I'm still trying to work through my brain is that she said it. You may be one of three. It doesn't matter because he's going to date you. When he's with you, he's going to treat you like a queen. But when he's not, you wait till your time comes. Now, buddy who probably go to the club, he's a single guy. See, women got to understand that a guy wants you to meet him too. You got to come to his environment if he called for you. Then he go show some. Well, some guys just go to the woman's environment, but you got to meet it halfway. If you don't go out to, like you set up a day, go out to dinner, you got to do an activity. Some don't like activity, some don't like dinner. So once that's over with, now if a few days you want to get together, sun is out or something, you don't want to pull up, man, keep it moving. But if I'm here working, I ain't gonna just not work to go hang out with you, and so you can sit around, look at your phone and your fake hair blowing the wind and shit. No, that ain't cute. But that's the American man, she ain't say he wasn't attractive, but some of them, they want to eat first. They want to get their free meal in and all that. But the Jamaican guy, he can talk to you nice and take you on one dinner date, but you in his rotation. Because he ain't trying to marry you. He just having fun. But maybe I could be wrong. The Jamaican man ain't marrying the sisters like that either. They just know how to romance. Get off at the island. Hell yeah, I mean, romance on these sisters. But I could be wrong though.
Okay. Who that's knocking at the door? Sean. Sean, have you given someone a wrench? Have you told that winch or whoever the hell that is to stay up off here? I don't know if I'm gonna let you wish one.
I don't give people a wrench anyway. I still haven't never.
So you got to go into YouTube Studio.
Okay.
YouTube Studio, and you can add mods to your channel.
Yeah, you need to add Lady Navoa.
Oh man, yeah, for sure. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm over a trip.
Because anything and everything can come into your chat. So you want somebody looking after that while you're trying to coordinate a shot,
I got a feel for me to do.
Mm-hmm. All right, back to the comments here. Okay. Whether she's traveling or not, Jamaican men are just more aggressive with how they approach women, but US men know that you telling a woman that you like them can actually turn women off. Jamaican men just don't care. Yo, Jamaican men be hiding out at Walmart, knowing they ain't getting nothing. They just be hiding out at Walmart, knowing that they're going to see a girl in there. I'm like, I done seen this Jamaican man the last time I was in here. They be posting up at Walmart, I'll tell you that.
With some slides on. With them little hard looking feet out and shit.
Why y'all keep talking about Jamaicans like this? Oh my God.
The only thing they got is some nice hair and shit.
Precious. We're not fond of Jamaican men.
I see.
Listen, I don't hate on Jamaican men. I don't hate on
not.
I'm just calling it out.
Friends, what it is. Cool. But ladies, y'all might be fond of Jamaican men. They don't.
Y'all mad they taking y'all women?
No, they don't. I'm fond of Jamaican women. I love Jamaican women now. That's a whole different ballgame.
Why don't y'all like Jamaican men?
I don't care about the men. I
didn't say we don't like them. I'm just saying we're not fond. We're not fan. Y'all.
See, Sean got that old. He got that old demonstration against the Jamaicans because a Jamaican took his girl back in the 10th grade.
Probably.
I don't think we have an issue with Jamaican men as far as I'm just saying we're not admirers of a Jamaican men like y'all women might be. So it's not. It's like, oh, they're just a regular man.
Who said I admire them? I like the accent, not the person.
That's an admiration of something. We don't care about the accent.
It could be on a woman.
Sean, you speaking for
okay? Well, you're right.
Sean, you speaking for yourself, though, right?
I think I'm speaking for all of us. We don't.
No, you ain't speaking for me, man, because I ain't got nothing.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If I ain't speaking for you, then you can correct me. We don't like Jamaican men accents. I ain't say nothing about Jamaican women. I think I like Jamaican women accents.
I don't care about neither one of that. None of that shit makes any never mind to me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care about nobody accent. You feel me? It just is what it is.
That's funny, man. That is funny. You guys are crazy.
See.
All right.
Moving on.
But to end this though, all in all, we didn't see eye to eye on that one. However, the question is, how important is it for a man to convey that message to a woman? Because while you're, if you're giving her the time of day, she's giving you the time of day,
Support.
how important is that message? Are you not really trying to date her, so you just don't, say those words? Or are you dating her and you just don't want to commit, so you still don't say those words? Or do you say them at a certain time?
At a certain time, but you got to say them. Because all the stuff that me and my wife went through when we were like courting, I said, because when I told y'all before, I said, listen, we got to make something meaningful, because I don't need another girlfriend. And she said, yeah, but I never put any other words to it until I came to the revelation. I said, well, this, I had nobody else on phone. We're exclusive. I said, yeah, I never said this. I said, you want to be my girlfriend, right? My lady. I was still back then. We still said boyfriend and girlfriend. She said, she looked at me. She said, I thought I already was. That's what she said. And it just dawned on me. I had never said the words like that, right? So by then we got engaged maybe around 2 or 3 months later after that, because our whole courting period was 5 months long.
So
I never said it. I just said, hey,
Well, you did say it. You did say it, right? Because
I finally said it.
Responded and said, well, I thought I already was. However, she a G. Okay, she's a G, and let me tell you why.
Tell me why.
Let me tell you why she's a G. Let me tell you why she used her femininity on you, RV.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh yeah, I've been manipulated.
That's how you use your femininity on a man, right? You say you when he said when. So how did you say it?
I said, yo, you want to be my girl? Yeah, I said it like that,
Right. And so she did, without saying yes, because yes is like plain Jane, like yes, right? Yeah. Instead of,
yeah, I know where you go.
All these different avenues, she goes, well, I thought I already was. And so boom, that's it. Y'all don't have to have this long, elaborate talk about it. She don't have to have any assumptions in your head. She probably already thought she was, and so you probably thought you didn't have to say it.
And I say nothing else after that.
Gave you the feminine way of saying, "Oh, well, I already thought I was."
You're right.
And then in your head, it's like, "I said it. We could just continue on with what we've been doing."
You're absolutely right.
Right? Yeah. Whereas there are women who would say, oh, well, where do I stand with you? Where's my place? Or, it's been a long time now. What's going on? Like, I thought that, we had something going on. You said these words. I said instead of doing any of that, she goes, well, I thought I already was now. And then you get married 2 to 3 months later.
We get engaged.
We're engaged, right? It wasn't, and that solidified that you guys were together, right? And so when you pop the question, or when you ask her parents, or there is no guessing.
No, it wasn't.
One of the things about protection with a woman is when she knows her place in your life, because then she can submit her life under your life. If a woman doesn't know her place in your life, she's not going to submit her life under your life. She's going to keep living her life. And you might not be living that life with her. And that's okay, because you're a man and you can live your life with whoever you want. But if that's the woman that you want, you would let her know that, so you can be steering her life into your life. But a lot of men don't let women know. They will date them forever. They will have the most intimate, intimate times with this woman. But they will not say to that woman, I want you to be my girl. Like, we've been doing this thing for a while. Like, I don't want you to commit to anybody else. I want you all to myself. Whatever the words you have to use, they won't use those words. And then when the woman does come and put a little pressure on a situation, it's like, well, where's this coming from? I thought we was chilling, and I thought we were riding out, and I thought we were having fun, and I thought.
Well, Precious, you're making a valid point. Women do need that validation, but the problem is that validation often comes disingenuously. and so you to get fooled, and then you run into the same issue. The real thing about the dating is identifying whether a person is genuine through looking at their actions and their words and seeing how consistent they are with each other. A lot of times you guys want to hear it, and we know you want to hear it, and we tell you what you want to hear. And then you get fooled and hurt because you got what you wanted to hear, but the person who you got it from wasn't genuinely saying it.
Yeah,
Now,
but Sean, before you go any further though, in the situation she talked about my wife with me, she's spot on. Because as soon as she said what she said, Precious, that was it. We never talked. She said, when she said, I thought I already was. It hit me different than her saying, well, am I or anything? I'm telling you.
Well, Pain.
So the fact that other women, other guys lie, that's not the point of why she was telling me this.
Pain, I agree with you, but the point is, you was being genuine about it. So I understand that. She was your girl, even though you didn't say the words. You were already intentionally taking those steps and making those measures to make her your future wife. So it's a big difference when somebody is genuine and not. So all I'm saying is that you proved you was genuine through your actions and your words. You happened to learn that your words were important to her when she questioned you about
this, though, Sean. Think about this, Sean. When she said that, though, also, she affirmed my feelings. She affirmed me because when I said, do you want to be my girl? Right? I knew she was going to say at least yes. But she would have just said yes. It would have been we've been fooling around with each other for months anyway. But when she said it the way she said it, it hit a whole lot different. No doubt about it. It just really did. I thought I was. I just said, yeah, okay. I just said, okay. Then it's settled. Then it's settled. And then we never talked about that again.
I agree. So like I said, I think that you do need to say those words. I agree. And I've been guilty of not saying them. So I agree, you do need to say the words.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think that it's more than words, those words and actions. Because I did the actions.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And to your point, it is very, you get a confirmation when you do say those words and apply those actions at the same time. All I'm saying is don't just say the words and not apply the action.
That's true. All right.
Wow. No, you was talking about lying mofos who are disingenuous.
And right, I was, but a lot of people are lying mofos. And learning how to distinguish the difference is identifying the action, making sure the actions and the words are consistent.
Yeah, and women. So I mean, people are gonna lie, right? But you have to, this is why I always say be real with yourself so you can be real with everybody else. Because if I know you lying, the way that I'm real with you is to detach from you because I know that you're lying. The only way I'm going to know if you're telling me the truth is if your actions and your words do match up. And so I know I'm being real with you by saying, look, my presence here is not going to serve you any good or serve me any good, right? And I have to detach myself from that. So I'm being real with you and I'm being real with myself. And so in saying that, that's why we have to know ourselves and know what you can tolerate, what you can't tolerate. Being around people, like I'm a people's person, so I'm around people. And so you have to get a feel for the communication between people as well. There's a lot of people that want to stay in the house or stay at their job or stay at a post or say, like, you have to, I know people, you've been hurt. You don't want to go out. You have crowd anxiety and things of that nature. But you have to go out and be amongst people because that's also how you learn yourself. And so when you don't know yourself and you don't know how to handle yourself with people, and I'm talking about women with men who are liars, women who don't know how to handle themselves with a liar will feel like they have to stay with that liar. They'll feel like they can't make that liar mad, or they can't bother that liar or shuffle the feathers with that liar, because if they do, then something bad might happen, or they might just be alone. Oh my, like they might just, And you have to know yourself enough to know that that behavior has your nervous system in an uproar. That behavior, you're not settled there. That behavior, you don't have peace. That behavior, you guys keep going in the same loop that you keep going in, is because someone doesn't want to detach from that. And once you see the lying, once you see the manipulation, once you see those things, you have to detach from it and not feel no type of way.
You're right, but when they get that D, they sound delusional.
And when they get that D and they start to get delusional, that's where they need to dismiss themselves. They need to go, because that ain't the only D in the world. Like women, they get caught up on people, men in particular, thinking that there's not going to be anyone else in the world. And that comes from just a lack of self-esteem. That comes from a lack of, just knowing themselves and knowing that God don't make no mistakes. He wants me to have abundance. Okay. And so if it's not you, it's not you. But a lot of women don't think like that. A lot of women think, I need to hold on, because if I don't, I'm going to miss out. And it's like, no, sometimes you need to let go so you don't miss out. So yeah, there are men who are disingenuous. There are men who are lying to women, but women need to really get coaches or women who can give them the real, like someone that's not going to pacify your feelings, someone that's not going to, is going to be like, girl, he's been lying to you. Every time he talks to you, he lies to you, or he tells you he's there and he's there. And like things like that, you have to break yourself out of those type of cycles. And the same with men and women. Men knowing that, women are sneaky, or they're a little mischievous, or they're a little shady, or they're, those little things are spirits. It's almost creeping out of the core of who people are. And you have to realize it and honestly detach yourself before the feelings or whatever the case may be gets too strong. Because the longer you go, the harder it is to detach. And then somebody really is going to be to blame. But that's okay. Like, if you feel as though you're the one to blame, you take it like a G and you keep it moving, because there's going to be someone else. And so, yes, I think that men should be vocal about what they want. And a sign that they don't want you is that they're not vocal. And women need to learn that too, because men are going to say what they want. They're going to go after what they want. And if you want a commitment and they're only going after you partially, then you have to come to the realization, be real with yourself, that they don't want a full commitment, at least not with you. So, and then that's when you learn to move accordingly and move quicker than you usually do, because that's what happens. Women get caught up in cycles and they don't move as fast as they should. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next video.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's play this one. All right, so a couple of your what are your favorites? They're on a talk show, and they're talking about a topic that they once spoke about before, while their wife spoke about it before, and now the husband is speaking on it, and this is what he has to say.
I know you want to talk about. Let's talk about
yes. So it's this topic that's been buzzing.
Why do y'all make
I can't say it's been buzzing in my house,
but it's been buzzing about you.
I'm sorry, y'all. StreamYard is acting a little weird again. All right, here we go.
There's a topic I know you want to talk about. Let's talk about.
Yes. So it's this topic that's been buzzing in.
Yeah.
I can't say it's been buzzing in my house,
but it's been buzzing about your house.
It's been buzzing about our house. And so my wife came out and talked about how we split things 50-50 in our home.
Yeah.
And so it became a big conversation about men and women who splits 50-50, who pays the bills and all these things. And then she recently came out and she said that she's in her soft era now, that she don't want to do 50-50 anymore. And I'm the kind of person, Jenna, that when my wife came to me and, we had a conversation about not everything 50-50, but, buying our house together, doing certain things for our family together in a 50-50 situation, I was like, sure, baby.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do. And if she come to me and she say, I don't want to do it, I'm like, Sure, baby. If that's what you want to do. Now the house may be a little smaller.
Yeah.
If we just going off my
Income,
salary.
yeah.
But it's all good. What about you?
Wait, hold on. But then we have to watch this clip because we want to hear what her talking about it. Let's listen real quick.
I famously said 50-50 or bust, right? And I meant that financially, spiritually, emotionally. And there's just a lot of days that I have 10% and I need him to be 90. There's days I don't and I need him to be 100. It's brought us closer because he knows it's not about whether he can afford it. It's being vulnerable enough to be open enough to know that I'm okay. I'm okay as his wife. He's okay as my husband. I'm okay in this family. I'm okay in this home. I deserve it. And so I'm trying to expand my heart, expand all of the notions of what vulnerability can look like.
All right. So she's in her soft era.
She's in her soft era. And I understand when we moved from Miami, we moved to LA, that's when we went to 50-50. And not in all things, everybody. Like I pay for a lot of things, but in the big things. And a lot of it is my wife has went out and she's been working on her entire life since she was 19 years old for her own things. And so, you know, we kind of had a conversation. She was like, well, I can pay that. I was like, well, do your thing then. What about you? You and Harry had these conversations about 50-50?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we got married, we were like, this is us, you know, and we definitely, you know, I'm like, I can't think exactly. And one of my biggest things is like, you don't want tit for tat in marriage, you know, and I know y'all don't either. So it's not like, hey, I paid for that, you pay for this. It's never like that. It's sort of like all one thing, one family. We all got each other, you know, and it sounds like that's what Gabby's saying too. It's like she feels so safe in y'all's marriage now that she doesn't need to like put up any, you know, guardrails.
Yeah, but you also had to, I had to allow her to come to that herself. Like when she wanted to do 50-50, I'm not. No. Do your thing, boo boo.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get in your way.
By the way, that's why y'all have a happy marriage because you know that slogan, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I always tell my kids, I mean, this is like the fact that I get my advice from memes on Instagram is everything. But this is the advice. It says, marry somebody funny and make your own money.
There you go.
You know,
and you're making your own money.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am.
You are.
And my kids better too.
I like that last part without slow ass kids. Hell, I like that part. It's sad.
So Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, I believe they've been married for about 10 or 11 years now. You know, they have their children, the girl and the other girl.
They don't have no children. They don't have no children.
That's why I say Gabrielle and company child. It's Gabrielle and company.
Well, they do got the son that's in the G League. They got the son that's in the G League. He played basketball.
She ain't got no children. I can tell you that.
Okay. So they have three children. I didn't know they had an older son.
Well, D Wade has he has an older boy. He has an older son that's in the G League that play basketball.
But not by Gabrielle Union.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm not. Okay. Listen, man. They do what they do, and I'm gonna be quick with mine. They do what they do. It's unfortunate that we got to be the guinea pig of the Hollywood scene. For real. It's unfortunate. He let her talk him into turning his son into a girl. And whatever they was doing, he was doing what he was doing. He was over at Diddy's crib too much, and now they're in Hollywood. It's just a bad deal altogether. And it's sad because the fact that they talk about it separate and not together. I wouldn't talk. I don't know, man. I would think that my wife would tell y'all get the hell out of her face when he come talking about the money over here. You know, so be like, forget, get out of my face. But that's Hollywood. They're gonna use us. The easiest to exploit. There you go. The two that you have. To speak this continuous feminist rhetoric. Happy wife, happy life. Please. It don't make no sense. But hey, white people like to use it on us anyway. So.
Well, they're saying happy wife, happy life, right? And she thought she would be happy going 50-50 with him. I remember that interview that she did, and she talked about going 50-50 because she has so many people to take care of in her family. And she, you know, pretty much, she also had trauma from her childhood. And so she thought that going 50-50 would be best for her and D Wade. And so she thought she was running stuff when she was like, all right, well, let's go 50-50 on this house. We're gonna go 50-50 on this. Like he said, if we're going off of my income, then we're gonna go into a smaller house. I mean, I don't know how much smaller. I mean, D Wade's been playing basketball. I mean, he talk about her working, all her life, he act like he ain't got no accolades underneath his belt,
But Precious. Now, let's be honest. She already dated a dude up under her, and she paid for everything.
Yeah,
I think she still thought that she had that type of bag, but her money ain't as long as D Wade's money.
Right.
See, she's a B-list actor, especially today, and I can understand her thinking like, "Oh, I gotta get in my soft era and become a home housewife now and let him make all the money because we see how he can move outside his NBA." That's all it is. Yeah. She's just playing to play.
You think she moved from an A-list to a B-list?
I mean, I ain't seen her in no features. But I'm just saying she's older now.
I was asking.
But she's older now. And she ain't getting the Hollywood call like, hey, you want to come and do this little movie?
Well, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, Coach. And basically, she was being an independent, prideful woman. And then she found out that she couldn't afford it. She couldn't live up to D Wade's half. And she realized that, and now she's struggling. Now she needs to work and all of the stuff that she needed to do, and humility and life hit her. And now that's why she's in soft. Luckily, she got a man who will condone and embrace and be empathetic to that. Cool. But basically she came in with this independent, I'm going to take half because and wanting to posture, and realized that she put she wrote a check that her ass couldn't cash.
Thank you. That's all it is. And she understood that if she would have acquiesced to D Wade being the breadwinner, even if she had money to chip in once in a while, the 90-10, she would have to be submissive. If she didn't want to do that either. So she said, hey, my Johnson is big as yours. Remember they used to do the commercial whose Johnson was bigger? They used to do the competitive commercials, and really whose Johnson was bigger, mine or yours?
I don't remember.
She used to do those commercials all the time, competing with him. And now, the money's drying up now, and he might still have some kind of source. But I think he's saying, I'd be perfectly willing to put you in this spot. But what he's not saying is, if you go in that spot, I don't want to keep hearing your big ass mouth. Just shut up and turn over once in a while. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. So she didn't want to do that, and he's kind of, So you were right, Sean. She was always feminist because she's an ultra feminist. She is Eva. She didn't play that part. That's who she was. Deliver us from Eva. That was her best role, by the way. And so I'm just saying, so she ain't fooling me. I would have told my wife, listen, you ain't talking about our funds to nobody. Just shut your mouth up and sit down. Shit, please. Honey. We'll put the honey on the end,
Hey, listen, you not covered in there like that when she making all that money though. But the money that Gabrielle Union was making at the time that her and D got together.
She had that BET show.
And she was still, cracking in movies like that. You know what I'm saying? When y'all get together she wasn't making the money that D Wade was making, but at the same time she was still an A-list actress, and she was on shows at the time. So she had her own show doing her own thing. You come into a situation like that, it's the same thing with it's the same, but it's the same thing with who was it? Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. It was like two A-list.
Different.
I'm saying the dynamics. They both were two stars. They got together. You know what I'm saying? They both were A-list actresses and actors, and they got together. A lot of people didn't think that shit was gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Because Angelina Jolie was hurt, and possibly known for doing other things outside of it, right? And then you got Brad. So it's like, okay, like it just, I just think that should be different. I just think that things are different, man. When you it adds a different dynamic when you come into it. We're talking as regular people. Like we're talking as regular people, bro. When you come into it and your wife just made $20 million off a film, like what are you gonna say?
Right. She ain't getting paid like that.
Nobody's discounting what you're saying. You're right, but I'm not okay. It's not right or wrong.
I'm just saying it's not the same.
It's a matter of perspective. It's not right or wrong, right?
Yeah, that's all it is.
But that's still, you could be perfectly right, and so could I. I think that if me and my wife is rich, I didn't say she could just bank her money and I'm just spend mine. But the concept of 50-50 is a conceptual thing. It doesn't matter whether she's rich or not. The concept was we're going to be equal partners. And if I pull out my Johnson, I want you to get on your knees sometimes. And then when you pull out yours, I'll get on my knees sometimes. That's what she said. There's no hierarchy in their marriage.
Hold on, look.
That has nothing to do with that, because broke guys are going for that deal with their women these days. The regular smuggler guys going for that stupid deal, and the highfalutin guys going for that stupid deal. And it's worse when a highfalutin guy goes for that.
Just on her show. I'm not saying
Jesus.
Just on her show
Help
alone.
me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus.
Look. Just on her show alone, she was making 160K. No, you good. Just on her show, she was making 160K an episode.
Okay.
So if she's so you come into a marriage like that, and it's like, D Wade, of course, D Wade has the money, but we all know how it goes when those guys start retiring. Like when those guys start retiring, we know how athletes be. That month they be having they got 100 million one day, and then the next day they don't got no money. It seems like
D Wade a little different. He's one of the upper echelon retirees.
Do you realize he was talking at his job? Do you realize that was a paid gig that he was talking about?
I'm not talking about him per se. I'm not talking about him per se, dog. I was just talking about athletes in general. I was just talking about athletes in general.
Right, but here's the differences. When you compare Angela Jolie and Brad Pitt, they're on the same echelon. Yeah. When you compare what's her name, Gabrielle and D Wade, she's making 150 an episode. He's making 150 a game. So his money is a lot longer than hers, and she's sitting there thinking that because she got long money, it's kind of like what that comedian said. Shaquille O'Neal is rich. The person who pays her check is wealthy. Well, guess what? In this dynamic, Wade was in a position where he could have paid her check.
Right. All I'm saying is so you got let's just, so she made money from movies, right? Boom, you got that.
Yeah, she got a little money.
And then you got, and now you're making 160K an episode, right? He's making money, then he retires. She's still making money, like consistent money coming in at the time, right? All I'm saying is when she's coming in making, that's still a lot of money, bro, especially episodes. So if you got 20 episodes or you got 15 episodes in one season, like that's still a lot of fucking money, right? If you come in and you say, you know what, hey, I want us to have a house like this and I'll put in on it. Like, I'm going to make sure that, like, I want to do the 50-50. I want to put in on it. It's going to be a little bit different because she is making,
but that's
$1 million, $2 million plus dollars a month.
But that's the thing, Frank. It ain't really adding up because.
Hold on for a second. Before you go, Frank, you said a lot of stuff. But the point really is, then who's asking for 90-10 now?
Right.
Who's asking for 90-10?
I mean,
right. Okay, she could have asked for 90-10 then, but she pulled out her dick, like Payne said.
Came with it.
She realized
I just think that dynamics change in a relationship. Dynamics change in a marriage. I'm not saying nothing bad. All I'm saying is that dynamics change.
true. That's true.
So at one point in time, she was getting all this money coming in every episode, all of that. Now she's not making the same amount of money. So she like, you know what, babe, like the dynamics are about to change in our relationship.
But you're right. But the whole thing is she wasn't making that type. She was feeling herself, and it wasn't really that much money.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah, and thing about it,
you can say what you want to say.
No.
It wasn't too much. You can say it wasn't that.
Y'all must be close in age or something.
I'm just saying. I'm not talking about. See, y'all are. I get what y'all are saying, and y'all are comparing his money to her money. We know that, like a basketball player, you can make $40K a year. I mean, 40 million a year, right? 50 million a year. Like, you can do that. I'm not disputing that. I'm saying the money that she came in with, yes, our pain was right. It made her feel like, yo, I have a sense of independence because I'm already I made all this money from movies. I'm making all this money. Now my money is coming in weekly because we got these shows. It'll stop for 3 months, but then it's coming back because we're filming for the next season. Boom, boom. I got all this money coming in. It's not the amount that D Wade is making or the amount that she's making. It's just the fact that she's still consistently making money. And she's like, yo, we can do it. This gives me my sense of independence. But then when the dynamics of the relationship changed, she said, yo, we got to reevaluate.
But she gambled on the fact. She gambled on the fact that wait a minute. She gambled on the fact that he would agree to that change.
And
that's what I'm saying. She gambled on the fact that suppose he don't want to do that no more.
Luckily, she found.
Suppose he's gotten used to the fact that she was chipped in half.
Right.
You know, and now she ain't. And so, but I'm sure he is because he's kind of like that kind of guy. I mean, most guys are. I'm just telling you that the deal she could have took, even with all that money, was to say, listen, you know what? If we want to live in a certain way, I don't want to have a 50-50 relationship, but I'll do my part. But I want you to be the master of the house and shit. And so if we have to live in a smaller house, and you want to just be the breadwinner on that end, let's do it.
Yep.
But it probably wouldn't be that small. He had a small house because he probably used to mansion. Like, you know what I mean?
No, she ain't used to no mansion. I mean, okay, so
I'm not talking about a house like a regular smuggler guy. I'm saying that the kind of house that she put her money in and they put their money in is probably twice the size of what he would say we need.
Yeah.
Right, because in fairness, it seems like he's very practical with his money.
That's right.
And he's very active.
No, he's practical. If he has some left, he's practical.
Right. And not only that, and he still has income coming in. Like I said, he's sitting there working. He's not getting a cheap salary for that gig.
And those talk shows make more money than a lot of them sitcoms, and you know, they get paid bank for them talk shows.
So it says right now D Wade makes $3 million a year. She makes $1.5 million a year.
Okay, that's but like you said, he already made close to 40 to 100 million in his pay. So that's worth $170 right now. That's $3 million is that job we talking about? That's what that job is making him right now. Okay,
no, not all by itself.
The point that
he had a game show out.
The point I'm making is I don't want to miss the point. Is that independent mindset, and when you're getting married, can be toxic to a relationship. Luckily, she didn't have the man that fall victim to that. For her, luckily for her. But in most situations, when you, as Payne said it, and I'm going to use that reference, pulling out your dick, trying to see who got you having a pissing contest.
I said Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
You say all that, Sean.
Pulling out your
California dick.
And having a pissing contest. That's what I don't want to overlook that. Now she's realizing that her Johnson wasn't as long as it was in her other relationships.
And her career is on the downside.
Right.
Because see, we got to understand that men gain value as they get older. He's put in his career. He's one of the best to ever do it. And now he has those business ventures and his value is rising. And hers, being an actor, you know what I'm saying? It's only a few slots that they're going to give consistent work. And now she's getting older, you know, so I can understand that, but she should have did that in the beginning, you know, but now he's still admitting, I'm going to go ahead. We good. I just can't get over my man turning his son. That's the hardest thing that she came in and flipped that.
Yeah.
Well, one of the segments on that same show was him showing off his merce, which is a man purse. I'm not going to show.
Oh yeah.
He gonna try to be the Derek Jackson on TV. They're gonna make him that type of dude. Put your women first, and next thing you know, he could be pointing at brothers, treat the ladies right. Y'all don't be messing with him.
Or he just might get a brand deal with a bag, you know.
The merch.
Now we carrying purses. Now we don't carry backpack. Every guy got on a purse.
No, he had a merce. He showed everything that was in it.
Nail polish and shit.
That's a whole nother topic. If we go into his characteristics and his, you know, his tendencies, that's a whole nother topic. Yeah. But the point is that she's used to having, and admittedly so, the point of independence and using it as a control mechanism, and it's in a very toxic way. And she found that in this relationship, she wasn't able to pull out a bigger Johnson than her man, and it was surprising to her. And now she's kind of coming to that understanding, but she's got a man that don't like to pull out his Johnson.
She found the right.
I give her some credit though. I thought it was a touching thing when he came back from the championship. I think she was waiting at the airport, and she went into like this whimsical dance when she saw him. You know, like she was like really happy to see the guy. So she was like la 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 la. You were dancing around. I said, man, I don't know, man. I have mixed feelings about her anyway, but to each his own. Hopefully it'll work out. She got a good guy, man. He's willing to do anything for her, right? He turned his son into a girl for her.
Yeah.
So,
I think that, you know, Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade can do that because they have that fluidity to actually do that with their funds. But that's not something that would happen with the regular Joe Schmo, right? And of course, like Frank was saying, your relationships do evolve. And I think somebody in the comments was saying it too, you know, you get to different levels and stages in your relationship, and you know what works in one season might not work in another season, and you might be working in one season, you might not be working in another season, you know what I mean? So situations and circumstances do change. But I think for the most part, the host, she was pretty much saying, you know, me and my husband, we got together, everything was one, right? Because usually when you get together with someone, you come to a conclusion about those things, unless you have enough money, you know, both are rolling in the dough, where it's just like, all right, you spend your money how you spend it, and I'll spend my money how I spend it. And some marriages are like that, where the spouses don't know what the other spouse makes, but everything gets taken care of. And so they never really have to question it because they know that the other person is going to cover it. But I think that as far as Gabrielle Union, saying she's in her soft girl era, you know, she's in her 40s. She's been an actress since she was younger. She says she, you know, took care of a lot of people in her family. You know, when she blew up, 52. So she became the caretaker financially, at least, for people in her family. And she's getting to the point where now, like she said, like, look, I'm tired. I don't feel, you know, like I have 90 today. I don't feel like I have 50 today. Sometimes I don't have anything. And so you have all of it. And I think realistically, that's how a relationship is, because, you know, people want to go in with the 50-50. A lot of people say, no, it's not 50-50, it's 100-100. Well, what about when you don't have that 100? And I think when we come down to the reality of, you know, common folk, then people don't have that. I don't know if you want to call it passive. I don't think that it is passive. I think that's maybe just how D Wade is. I don't know. But they don't have that temperament that he has, where it's just like, all right, boo, do you? If you don't got it, you don't got it. If you know, if you want to pay it, you can pay it. You know, more people down here are arguing about, you know, who's paying this, who's paying that, who's coming up with this portion of this, who's coming up with this portion of that. And so, you know, those conversations, while we can talk about them and things of that nature, again, they have the fluidity to, you know, you pay this, and if you can't pay this, and I'll pay, you know, whereas some common folk don't have, you know, that leverage.
But it's all relative, isn't it, though, Precious? It's all relative, right? Because the fact is, I mean, I hope I'm not on mute, right? It's all relative because 50-50 is a euphemism, right? It really is. It's not just money. And when people, and that's what it's part of the programming I think we're all in. Because this whole notion that anybody in today's day and age in a regular smuggler marriage or between men and women, that somebody's money could be used for just frolicking and one person's supposed to work themselves to death. That's a crazy ass notion, right? And so this whole 50-50 thing is kind of wrapped up in money. It's a 50-50 mindset, which is the wrong thing, because in a marriage, it should be, I'm going to give you my all, you're going to give me your all. And it's not just money. I'm going to know whether you're tight or low on your bills. So when we negotiate how we're going to pay bills and all that kind of stuff, you lose a job, I got to find a way to take up for it. But together, we have to make sure we live underneath the means of both of us so we can compensate for some of that stuff. And so none of that happens because we got this notion that a woman shouldn't pay bills when she's married to a regular guy. It's shit's crazy. And I mean, that's a modern man's thought process. And that's based on programming. If I'm a working class person and you're a working class person, I'd be goddamn if you don't have to pay some bills. Or however we hook it up.
And I think that was the notion that was missed. So you said when she said 90-10, I think that's what she was talking about, the aspect that wasn't financial of what Precious was talking about, where she was saying like some days I don't got it, meaning the energy. Like some days I can't, like some days I can't, like some days you know, I might have 30%, so you might have to pick up the other 70. And that's when people say that, because shit happens. Like when people say that, they're meaning outside of money. I'm saying when she said 90-10, like that's, and she said I don't have it, I don't think she's talking about money right there. I think she's talking about the other aspects of the relationship, where she's, because when people say when people say like, yo, today I might have 30%, they're not talking about money. They're talking about like, yo, today I'm kind of worn out. Like I need, you know what I'm saying? Like I need you to pick up the slack for me. And then your husband, your partner, your wife, they step in and be like, babe, chill. Today is your day to rest. I got it. And then they pick it up, and she might feel like, yo, I gave 30% that day. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I think.
I hear you. That's your interpretation. I disagree with that 100%. You think Dwayne Wade is counting the percentages every day? He picks up the slack for her every day.
That's not what I said.
I think she's
talking about
money.
I seen the same thing happen on a Pop the Balloon show. This girl asked the guy, she said, yo, can I, what do you think about 50-50? And he said, yo, it's gonna be times that I'm down, it's gonna be times that you're down. I never thought about it 50-50, but there's gonna be times that I can give you 80% and you can get and you give me 20, and it's gonna be times that you give me there's gonna be times that you give me 80 and I give 20, not to each other, but to to things that's going on in the relationship, things that's going on around us. Like, if I come home and I'm worn out and we have children, like there's gonna be days where you're going to take over the children for me because I'm worn out. You give me the break, and so now you're picking up the slack. I know, and I'm saying when people use that, like the drastic number.
I disagree with making that. I think she's talking about money.
So you think that Gabriel Union really wants to only pay 10%?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
she's talking about that her money is low, and she wants him to be willing to put in more than he usually had to put in. Now that's what I'm thinking she's saying. Now, all the rest of the stuff, I agree with you, but we don't have to talk about me putting in 90 and 10. That's a natural thing in a good relationship. I'm gonna take up a slack when you're a little down. You're gonna take up a slack. I think she's talking about money.
So
money.
When Gabrielle Union first came with the 50-50 relationship interview, at that point she was talking about money.
Okay.
We split the house right down the middle. I pay for my parents or my mom's this and this, my nieces and nephews, blah 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 blah. It was split down the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Money wise. In that conversation, she never said, what the spiritual balance and intimacy balance and all of that. She was strictly talking about money. Okay. So now we come back to the table, and the interviewer, says to D-Wade, there's a story going around about your house, and he's like, it's not in my house, it's about my house, right? And now she's talking, I may not have, I may be 10%. I might not have anything today. I don't think she's necessarily talking about money, while money may be in there just because her work is slowing up. Now, I don't watch a lot of TV, so I could be wrong. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't even have cable. That's how much TV I don't watch. Like, I don't watch TV. So it could be partly that her money could be slowing up. But I think in that instance, she was heavily talking about her emotional stamina, meaning she did 50-50 for so long and trying to, be this superwoman to everyone in her family and giving her husband half of herself while still, giving all of herself to everybody else, because they probably ain't working. They not, footing no bills. And so now she's like, I'm tired. Not only do I not have 50, I don't have anything to give you at this point. I don't have any money.
Can both things be true? Can both things be true? Because I'm thinking her downness is part because she can't do it like she used to.
And I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
To your point, Payne, I think that you're absolutely right. Both things might. I think that initially she was talking 50-50, but she was feeling like she's still in survival mode. She's still in that mode of I got to take care of everything and so on and so forth. So in fairness, she was talking about that, and she was like, and she was also in protective mode, not trusting in the early on relationship that he could run, he could put her out and put her. So she was posturing. She was like, yo, I could take care of myself. And then understood. Now, in this clip, the second clip, I believe she did change the narrative, like Precious was just describing, and started talking about the emotional. But to your point, her emotional toll took on because she was selecting to be independent and trying to posture to make sure that she could, live up to the Joneses, so to speak, without him. And realize that's just a lot of extra stress, pressure, and she said this admittedly, unnecessary pressure that she had to endure because her pride. She didn't say this. Her pride was leading her. Her pride was talking for her, and then she had to find work. She couldn't afford what she
used to.
In 50.
So I think both things are kind of true. We're in violent agreement, I think.
Yeah.
I think we are. So because some people, money means everything to them, especially mostly like men. But I can see where she's a little down because she can't do what she used to do. I think Dwayne is probably a good guy. He's probably just a good guy that she's with. Maybe she's blessed that she's with him. Maybe.
All right. So have you guys been keeping up, or not even keeping up, but have you come across the Breakfast Club and
the Just Hilarious thing?
Yeah. I wanted to play some of that because again, tonight we're talking about communication. If you're just joining, definitely hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and hit all so you know when we're going live. If you are watching through someone else's channel that is on the panel right now, definitely hit that like button. I did not drop the link, y'all.
Drop that link.
Drop the link. Drop the link. I forgot. That troll had my focus going. See, that's why we can't have trolls.
Yeah.
That
Troll was.
That is exactly why.
I don't usually monitor that page. I never monitor that page, and I guess that's what happened. So I had to go figure it out. I let Lady Novea be my moderator and basically kick the person out, I believe, and that's why we haven't had it. But I don't ever monitor my YouTube page, and so I apologize for those comments.
All right. So I have pinned the link to the top of the chat. Guys, definitely, if you'd like to join the show, you're more than welcome. I'm sorry that I'm dropping the link so late.
That's all right. You said we had how many videos we have? 2 more. So that's at least another 2 or 3 hours right there. So.
Bare minimum.
I don't know about all of that. I don't know.
Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus.
I don't know. All right, so we're gonna get to this Just Hilarious video. When I got booted out, all of my videos got booted out, so I gotta go back into my player here. Let me see.
Feeling in real time. That be quiet. That was crazy as crazy. The shut up. I was like, oh, okay, because what we really.
We're gonna pause that. Okay, it takes a second for it to come up on stage once it is back there.
Okay.
All right. So this is the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne, DJ Envy, Just Hilarious received a seat at the Breakfast Club, I think at the top of the year. I think she's been there since the beginning of the year. And everyone knows Just Hilarious from her just being pretty much a comedian. She does Just with the Mess. She goes on tour and she does her shows. I've never seen her live, but she goes on tour. She just had a baby. I believe she just either got married or they're engaged. But she was on the Breakfast Club. She went out on maternity leave to have her baby. And when she got back, it seems as though things were different. They weren't going as they initially planned, whether they had business meetings on what was to happen when she was to come back. However, now Lauren LaRosa, who is on the Breakfast Club, I believe she filled in for Jess while she was on maternity leave. And now that Jess is back, Lauren LaRosa has not left. And so just watch the communication between the two women, because we all know that reality TV, a lot of women, in particular Black women, go at it. And y'all know I say this all the time about Zeus Network. The only thing that they have in that contract is don't die. Like, you can pretty much do anything, communicate however you want. You could throw things, you can hit people, you could do everything. Just don't die, okay? Because they don't want to have a body on their hands. But just watch the way that they communicate in this radio segment here, where they're trying to hash out what's going on. But I'll ask my question afterwards.
Yeah, I'm feeling in real time. That be quiet. That was crazy as crazy. The shut up. I was like, oh, okay, because what we really giving up here? Like, what's up? Okay, right? But I didn't.
None of that was said. You didn't say anything about that.
And then when I pulled you into the office with our EP with Eddie, the first thing I said to you was, Jess, we fighting for airtime and it shouldn't be like that. I want to know what can I do better as a producer? What can we do better as the two women sitting right here next to each other to make sure that don't happen, because it doesn't look good. It's not going to play well for either one of us.
I literally swear to God, I don't even remember you saying that.
And that's exactly why I had Eddie in the room, or EP,
I never ever heard that.
Because
you've pulled me to the side a few times to ask me, are you okay? How do you feel about the stories and things like that? You've never said what you just said to me. Now listen. I have said, hush, shut up. Like, yo, you overtalk. And like I said, I'm not about to be up here fighting for no mic. Like, I'm not doing that. If I already got the job, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not. It's voices. 3 of us are very opinionated. You know what I mean? Me, you, and Charlamagne. I'm not saying Envy don't got no opinion, but he don't jump in every single time there's dead air. You know what I'm saying? When you overtalk. And it's like the only time you can quiet down is somebody be like, shut up.
Don't even tell me shut up, Jess. I'm a grown ass woman.
And I understand you could have said that on air right then and there, or right after when you saying you put me in office. You never put me nowhere to tell me that.
Because the way that I do things when it comes to my job and my career, that's not what we on. And I told you from the jump, I was never going to give that to you. Ever.
Okay.
And did I not?
I'm gonna stop it right there. So, what are you guys getting from this conversation between Lauren and Jess?
Besides Black Girl Magic, that's all. That's that Black Girl Magic is alive and well. But go ahead. Who else want to go first, man?
Man, what I got from it is they're 2 different personalities and have 2 different approaches, and it kind of butt heads at certain times. Just Hilarious is more vocal and direct, and sometimes not polished, whereas Lauren is more polished and corporate. And so you didn't get to the point where she said, well, you pulled me aside. You could have said that. She said, I wouldn't do that. I'm a producer. So basically that's corporate America. And sometimes if you have a different mentality, that's fluff and stuff that people don't like. Is because it comes off disingenuous, phony, and pretty shallow. And I think that's the different personalities. Just Hilarious being somebody who's more like a street person who's talking about the real, keeping it real, and she's now in corporate America, and she's really challenged with the environment that she's in because it's unfamiliar to her, and she's not used to having to be politically correct as Lauren is, and she strives at, and which is professionalism, and her professionalism shows it. And that's where I think the clash is becoming, is because Jess is like, yo, just let's be real with each other and stop doing it. And she's like, yeah, we can be real, but let's go to, but we're going to do it corporately. And those are just 2 different languages, 2 different styles, and 2 different personalities that clash in the in this type of environment, the entertainment environment, more often than other places.
Yeah, I mean, they have different communication styles, right? You know what I'm saying? Jess is more rough, rugged, but they do different things on the show. Like they don't do the same thing. What happened was what really happened in the situation? It was just misplaced anger. She pointed the anger in the direction of Lauren when it wasn't Lauren's fault. It was more of Charlamagne and Envy's fault. And so what she did was she thought that when she, when she asked for Lauren to hold it down while she was gone, because she asked for her to hold it down, like all the comments was like, yo, we like Lauren. We don't rock with Jess. We like Lauren. And so a lot of people wanted Lauren over Jess because Lauren added the actual news element to the show. And Jess was the gossip element of the show with the comedic twist. And so people was like, man, but Lauren, man, she's really good at what she does, man. She's going out, she's getting, sources, she's getting facts, and Jess is bringing us gossip, the shade room. You know what I'm saying? And so once the comments started going, and then they ended up keeping her there, as like in the forefront, rather than her just being a producer to the show. Then it made Jess be like, what are we doing? Like, yo, y'all didn't give me direction. So that's what she said in her in her live. She said there was no direction. It's like we're at Eastside High before Principal Joe Clark came in. Like, y'all just let us both do whatever, and we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what's her real job is on the show, what my real job is on the show, and y'all see that people are pitting us against each other, and y'all not even gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just gonna let it happen. And they're running the ship. So hey, yeah, it just came to a head. She let the comments get to her. That's the one thing that I will say. She let those comments get the best of her. She has a beef with Corey Holcomb. He just came out talking. Before that, he was already talking about, oh, she ain't nothing and she this and she that, and you know what I'm saying. Corey be beefing with everybody. Corey be beefing with Kendra G, other comedians. He don't care, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, but he has a big audience, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. And so, yeah, man, I just think it was, I just think that most of that communication was misplaced anger in one direction, and it was coming from an emotional standpoint because her emotions got the best of her.
About the boy, you think she's still unhinged about that?
About what?
About the 13-year-old boy.
I don't know what I don't.
The guy from the Trump rally, the boy with cancer.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Oh yeah, she made an off-color joke about a black boy who was made honorary Secret Service from the presidential congressional address to Congress. It was a 13-year-old boy who was made honorary. He survived like 13 surgeries. And he had patches in his hair and stuff, but he got a standing ovation from everybody but the Democrats, of course. And he had this emotional hug with the Secret Service director, right, who gave him the badge. And she made a joke about him, and she got a lot of flack. This is all in the same time period, and that's why Corey went in on her because of that too.
Are you talking about on the show, on this show? It wasn't on that show.
No. What I'm saying is, you say she has some emotional shit going on. It's not just this one thing. Yeah. She's okay. This is recent, so this is weighing on her as well. She got a lot of public backlash for that.
It's over. I didn't hear that. So this is just the low level shit that's going on with that, the radio and stuff, and this is way above her pay grade. Yeah. The young lady just having to be in that seat, and she's been gone now. She's coming back, and I think a lot of this feminist rhetoric is going to sort of be pushed to the back.
It's going to get
and everybody's speaking that. I don't think a lot of women will see it, but she's just one of the lineup that's going. If you start speaking this, and I don't know, the language is what it is. I can't describe it in full, but, it's going to have to be a little bit more balanced, a little bit more patriarchy, a little bit more. You can't speak critical of your job and things that are important to America. You really can't do that. And we all see how they cutting back. So any little dumb mistake, I'll say this, any little dumb remark you make about the job, you better be careful. Whether you're on the internet or in the job's face. So just be careful. So
there's another thing, Coach Ferg, that she's just a few things, both of you guys, Precious and Frank. Charlemagne and what's my man, Envy? They don't have no real control over what goes on there. So she's thinking that they got more juice.
They do run that show.
No, not.
They do run that show.
No, hold on. I don't think that they have the ultimate say on who's in that third seat. They weigh on it, but I'm not so sure they got the control you think they do.
I would say they, to your point, they don't have the ultimate say so, but they do have a lot of influence on that.
Yeah, they have influence.
As long as black folk are listening, they're gonna have influence. Yes.
Yeah. Charlemagne specifically is the heart of that show.
And he said just not going nowhere.
Right.
He said just not going nowhere.
I didn't hear that. Okay, that's cool.
Oh, well, then she was already set to be doomed on that show.
Here's what hasn't been said, and a lot that's going on. she made some bad choices. Well, questionable choices. I won't call them bad. She had a child right after she got. That segued into them having to adjust the show with her absence, which allowed this young lady Lauren to get into the place in replacing her on maternity leave. So before she really got her teeth in solid in this show, she was gone and had somebody else who happens to be good at what she does, replacing her and doing the show. So when she came back from maternity leave, the person, as she said, and she had a valid point, but the point that she missed is that she made this choice. The point is that when she came back, it's like you coming back to your office and somebody sitting at your desk still, and nobody saying nothing about it. That's what happened. That's what she was.
Yeah.
And and she had a right to feel that, but the problem with what she offset is that she chose to have this child right after she got the job. It's kind of like Scottie Pippen choosing to sit out when they was in the championship and wonder why the team looked at him crazy, because you put the team in a very it was a position that they didn't want to have. Now they survived it, but you put them in a real bad position. And so when they had to go ahead and step up to your absence, now you're sitting here wondering why they're not giving you the same type of respect, the same type of rapport when you came in. And that's kind of what I feel just hilarious in choosing to have her child at that point. And I'm not condemning her for that choice, but at the same time,
that was a bad choice, brother.
Yeah,
it was a bad choice, man.
I agree, and that's what really went down. And this is why we're having this, and this is why she came in, and it was feeling funny when she came in, and she was pointing it out. And this is to your point, Envy and Charlamagne acting like they don't see it. Lauren didn't really do nothing, but Envy and Charlamagne acting like this ain't some weird shit. And basically it is, and she's calling them out like, yo, why is everybody acting so funny? Like y'all don't see what I see.
Right. The only person that I say that really showed that he saw where she was coming from in the beginning was Envy. Like Charlamagne was joking around about it majority of the time because he was just like, I don't want us to have to be this serious on air. I know we got to air it out, but I don't want to be this serious on air. So he was making jokes the whole time in the beginning, but Envy was taking it serious because Envy was a little like, why we didn't have this conversation. And she was like, yo, y'all told me when I came back from maternity leave that Lauren was still gonna be a part of the show, but she was gonna be more of a producer, and she was gonna fade to the back. She's like, but then when I came back, she was still here, she's still in my seat. We're fighting for mic, we're fighting for airtime, we're fighting for mic time. Then y'all put her on my segment. So it was like, it's like, okay, so that she does the news, I do gossip, but now it's like her segment is my segment is her segment. Y'all didn't differentiate it. You know what I'm saying? And so the guys were like, well, we thought y'all talked, and y'all put that together to where it would be the news and the gossip together. And so, but she's like, but this is why we needed a clear sense of direction. Like y'all never gave us no clear sense of direction. So we're just here just fighting for the airtime now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. And she was frustrated.
And the women need men to put order to their chaos.
Yes, they didn't communicate.
That's the bottom line.
Yes, and they didn't communicate. And I think to me, if they didn't push her out per se, I think Jess jumped the gun. I hate the fact that she went and made herself another baby daddy situation instead of getting married, which is unfortunate because they could have worked together. That I believe you could have had a segment, like you said, the news and the whatever, just throw her little skit in there, because if they'd have gave me 2 minutes, I'd have put together some 2-minute skits and got my check.
And that's what it sounds like. That's my bad. That's what it sounds like they're gonna do. Yeah, because they said they want to keep both of them because they're both good, and they just want to have 4 on the show now instead.
in fairness,
Ooh, it's
I
gonna be
kind of
different.
side with Just Hilarious because bottom line is they could have communicated. We're talking about communication. They could have communicated to her what it was going to be, and that's what she was frustrated about. She was like, yo, I don't mind. The girl is talented. I don't mind her being, I don't mind sharing, but y'all acting like y'all never said clear cut what this is going to be. Charlemagne, Envy, the producers, y'all never said we're adding this fourth person to the show, which if you would have said that, I would have been able to,
Adjust.
adjust to that. But y'all sat there and allowed to, oh no, it's just like somebody come home, right? And yeah, woman or man, depending on, who we're talking to, has another person in the house and she didn't tell you nothing about it. And you just walk in and you're like, huh? What's going on here?
Hey, Sean, better yet, look, Precious. Remember we was just talking about seasons and relationships. So they spent all that time looking for a third person for that show. And they found Jess, and they hired Jess out of everybody else that they tried out. And then when Jess went on maternity leave and suggested that they bring Lauren on to hold it down for her, they were like, damn, maybe we can have 4 on this show.
Right.
But did not tell her, or did not tell either one of them. You know what I'm saying? So the seasons changed in the relationship and they didn't communicate it effectively.
Yeah, they didn't communicate.
A producer, she definitely know. There's no way a producer cannot.
Yeah, she know what was going on.
So my question was going to be, and Sean pretty much, kind of took it there, but was just justified in how she felt because, and we're going to watch more of the video, but bottom line is, one thing was said to her before she left, and then when she got back, nothing was communicated, and now she has to sit in the seat wondering what's going on, knowing that, like she said, I got the job. And when you get the job, it is your leadership's position to let you know what's going on when you're not there, what conversations are, what is going on with business, right? Like I went to work today and somebody wasn't there for like 10 days. He was like, I haven't been here for 10 days. What's been going on? Right. So now you get back and you want to be filled in. You want to know what's up. So, you know how to adjust, you know how to get your mind right. You just know, and so it seems as though she came on as if it was her very first day. Like she didn't know what was going on. So we're just going to go on with the video for a little bit.
First conversation, I said, if I ever have an issue with you, I'm going to handle it in a way where we can get through a conversation because we grown. And regardless, you don't got to love me. You don't got to like me, but we here together. I'm here.
And listen, like I said earlier, the internet loves mess.
Yes, you are here.
And one of the easiest ways to create mess is to pit women against each other.
And you're here because of an opportunity that I extended.
Regardless
no. I'm not sitting here like you don't deserve to be here. I'm not sitting here like you're not here. You're not going anywhere. That's first and foremost, let's get that. It may be my delivery or whatever. But yeah, you are here. I ain't never say you shouldn't be here. I said from the whole jump, yeah, Shorty do the job. Great. She's amazing. That's why I want it to be her segment.
I think y'all can work very well together. And once again, you got to stop letting the internet pit y'all against each other. I know the internet has created a narrative, Lauren versus Jess versus Lauren.
But that's what it is.
And that's what I'm trying to say is the internet is there. We see it. None of us can ignore it. I saw that Corey thing a week ago. It didn't say nothing about it.
But y'all clear up everything else. Nobody want to clear up that I'm not doing that. I don't like you, or I'm hating on a.
They say I'm gay. I never came up here and said I don't suck no PP.
That's true. That's different now. Come on.
The last time I attempted to do that, Jess, it went so bad that I said I wasn't going to do it again.
Attempted to do what?
I don't dislike you. You don't dislike me. The day you came back. That's what my intentions was. And we talked about
that was different. The way when I did come back, Lauren, you have to admit that ish was crazy. The way we had a setup, we had something going, we had a whole nother plan. It went left. You came in here and it's like you did something totally different. The first thing that you spoke to was the things in the comments.
I feel like we're having a behind the scenes meeting on air, which is kind of cool. But let's go to commercial or something, and then come back.
So it was longer than that, but I cut it. But
it's very
like
interesting.
we had things in place, and when I came back, it was different. And so,
Okay.
you know, that all goes into communicating, and this is communicating. Recently on my job, there's a girl going through it, and I asked her, I said, well, did you communicate? Did you email the person that you should email to get the results that you want? Because you could go around a job and talk to this person, that person, this person, but those people can't get you where you need to go. Those people can't answer the questions that are in your head and help you, you know, plan out your life per se. I mean, this is your job, this is your source of income. You know, you have to take it by the reins and go to the source. And it seems like in this situation, because Jess Hilarious comes from the background of comedy and podcasts and things of that nature, she's not looking at it at the corporate level. Whereas Lauren, who I believe is a journalist and things of that nature, she is looking at it at that angle. However, even within looking at it at the corporate angle, you still have to consider everyone on the team. You can't you can't have a feeling towards someone because they're out and you took their segment. You just got a little bit too comfortable. As a producer, you got a little bit too comfortable. Nowhere in that conversation was there I do apologize. We did have a plan. And when you came back, we didn't execute that plan. And for that, I'm out of line, or I'm sorry, or we should have informed you that things were going to change as quick as they did, or whatever the situation may be. And so, while we're talking about communication, it's important even in the workplace that you're able to communicate. And I mean, Jess took it the Baltimore route.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
sneakers, okay?
Yeah. And go ahead.
And Lauren took it and said to her, look, if I got an issue with you, I'm never going to do it like this. But there are some people that won't do it the way that Jess and her were doing it at that time, and they will overlook something, or they will hide things, in their pocket. They'll just slide that down there in their pocket. And then when it is time for the rubber to meet the road, it's like, okay, now you got this issue with me, this issue with me, this issue with me, this issue with me, this issue with me. And like Jess was saying, like, okay, well, if you didn't like that, you should have addressed that right then and there. And there are some people that will say, don't hold back now. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what's on your mind, instead of getting into a situation like this. And now everything that has ever gotten on your nerves about me, or things that you don't like that I do, now is brung up in this situation, when all I'm trying to figure out is why the plans change without me knowing. We're not talking about your feelings right now and what goes on air and me telling you to shut up and things of that nature. I mean, it's wrong. You got to have some type of etiquette in class. But at the end of the day, that's not what we're talking about. We talking about, I came off of maternity leave and you still here, and nobody told me what the plan was. And so in that situation, while they're communicating back and forth, I'm not quite sure if they ever did come to a resolve, because I did not watch that Breakfast Club episode. I'm pretty sure that, of course, let's go to commercial, they did have some words after that. But without seeing it, do you guys think that they really came to a resolve? Or do you think that women are going to be in some type of tension as they work together?
I think they came to a resolve because I believe the ending was that they were gonna keep both of them anyway, because they like what both of them do. They hired her on as a news executive. Because she said that she didn't even know her position at first. You know what I'm saying? So they made her like the news executive producer, which they pretty much just gave her a title right there. You know what I'm saying? But because they wanted to keep her around, they wanted to keep her on the show. I agree with Jess in the sense that the show is public. It's a radio show. It's known for having drama and viral moments. And so the fact that, yeah, she definitely took it to her spot first, which made them have to have the conversation now. You know what I'm saying? Because if she wouldn't have took that, there's a chance that if she wouldn't have took that to her live, that they wouldn't have been having that conversation the next day. They were forced into having that conversation the next day because the world saw it. You know what I'm saying? People were sharing her stuff. People were, were reacting to it on YouTube. Like and they put it on the shade room. They didn't have no choice but to address the elephant in the room. Now you got to figure out all of the stuff that we were supposed to figure out when I came back. What are we doing? We got to figure it out now. Now there's still gonna be things that we got to work out in the background. You know what I'm saying? As far as how the show's gonna run, when my segment is gonna come, when the donkey of the day gonna be, like when the news gonna come. They're gonna have to figure out all those slots when we taking callers. But the fact of the matter is, now they actually have to do it, and Charlamagne and Envy can no longer drag their feet and be like, we just like both of them. We like what both of them do. We not really gonna tell them what they do, what their sense of direction is on the show. We just gonna keep letting it flow like it's flowing because we feel like it's working. You know what I'm saying? But behind the scenes, you can even tell that Lauren was a little flustered and like just off of the same things that Jess was saying, but Jess just had the gumption to say it out loud.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Lauren probably wanted to take it in the office inside. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk to the heads. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's talk to my my agent. She wanted to do that. Jess was like, listen, I'm a comedian. I made my living on the internet before this. You know what I'm saying? People know me from the internet. I'm taking it to my office. She took it to her office, which made them have to take it to the office on radio. And hey, everybody was tuned in to the Breakfast Club the whole day that day, and they kept going on with segments about what was going on. You probably was at work. I'm on spring break, so they were dropping them. They were dropping the segments on YouTube from the Breakfast Club, and I never seen them clip it like that. Like all day, they were clipping it like that all day instead of dropping like one big show or like highlighting a celebrity come in. They had a couple different clips of them talking about it. And so, yeah, it brought in extra content for them and all that. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think, on a personal level, they're going to just try to be as professional as they possibly can be. But first of all, just hilarious. Doesn't seem like a really nice person. I mean, every time I see her, she's crying about transvestites and she needs black men to save her, and then she can't stand black men the next, and she's always got something going on. So drama is her middle name, and I guess they could have a professional relationship, but they're going to be on pins and needles for a while. That's what I think. One misstep, all this so-called kumbaya shit, the one misword, they're going to be right back at it. They're going to be right. I don't know about the other girl. I don't know about the other lady, but Jess doesn't seem like she's a very friendly kind of woman.
Well, Jess is the person that's going to address it head on, and Lauren is the person that's going to just let it slide because this is her job. She wants that level of professionalism. You can't. I mean, I could understand both. But where Jess went wrong, and Frank, you said it, she took it to her office. And unfortunately, her office is the internet, is social media. And so you have numbers on your side, then you can pretty much go in there like a raging bull, right? And so now Lauren has to come up off of some of that frustration that she's been, having discipline, keeping within. But I think if they're on the air and, something happens, Lauren still is not going to be this person that's going to address Jess head on. And if she does, this conversation that she's having with Jess is going to turn over a new leaf. But I don't see Lauren taking it there because she's probably thinking of opportunities past this, whereas Jess knows where her bread and butter is. And so if the Breakfast Club doesn't work out, or they do want to go down to 3 seats and they say, hey Jess, it's just not working out, Jess has her shows and things of that nature to go to. From a branding standpoint, I don't think Jess Hilarious is branding herself well when she has a conversation like this with Lauren. Yes, they have the Breakfast Club, but this could have been a perfect opportunity for them to branch off where it's just the women, right? And you may have had a man in there maybe moderating, but not DJ Envy and Charlemagne, because Charlemagne like that little brother that's going to egg on the whole situation, and you like, come on, bro, like we trying to get somewhere, and you over there in a corner, and DJ Envy going to sit there quiet the whole time, and you look at him for a little bit of reassurance, and he just going to look at you like, well, that's DJ Envy.
Sure.
So they could have had a whole, situation where it's just like, okay, Jess Hilarious is not bringing it to the internet. And if, Lauren, if you do have some things to say, if you do have things that you haven't been saying or communicating with me, then now is the time to do it. I just don't think that, and while the Breakfast Club is their platform, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of going to the internet and just airing out your grievances and what's on your mind and what's getting on your nerves at work, and your baby daddy not treating you right, and like, I'm just not a fan of any of that. But people know that even bad publicity is good publicity, and if you're in this social media world, you think that the numbers are gonna run up, but we've been talking about seasons. One season you might be in, and one season you might be out. So why even waste your time trying to be a one-hit wonder? Like, why waste your time putting your business out there just for this season to pass?
Precious, to your point, I'm sorry.
Because it's entertaining, and that's what the Breakfast Club was built on. And so understanding that format, all of the politically correct corporate America stuff doesn't always apply. And that's the problem that's going on right now. We're talking corporate America mentality, which is cover your own ass, basically, and versus street mentality or hip hop mentality, which is expose realness, so to quote unquote. And they're having a clash right now. And the clash is great because we're sitting here talking about it. The world knows about it. And the ratings could have been down, and now they're back up. So that's part of the whole scenario and that's what Charlemagne had hinted to when he said, no, tell her to shut up. Make it play each other, make the world think that y'all playing against each other, or that y'all bidded each other, because he understands the audience and the entertainment, whether it's Salacious, whether it's World Star, whether it's Breakfast Club. He understands where their audience is and what their audiences are looking for, and what will be salacious for those audiences. So unfortunately, go ahead, Fred.
It's like, it's when I listen to you, you seem to understand the foolery media really well, right? The media and what people are drawn to and attracted to, right? And it's unique because you always have a perspective concerning that. So when I listen to it, okay, because you in the entertainment business, so I can understand. I'm starting to understand you a little bit more where you're coming from in reference to just, but when I look at this whole situation, I always look at it like outside of what really is, because I take it outside of the Breakfast Club. And this is where it shows a lack of professionalism for a lot of us, and especially women. They don't think forward. They don't think past the issue. The fact that she was on paternity leave, that doesn't mean, listen, if you have time to go on social media, you also have to call your job and be like, hey girl, what's up? Remember that project we was talking about? What we gonna do now? I've been sitting at home every time my baby go to sleep. I'm thinking of 15 different little things we can do. What you got? And she'll have her little stuff and we can communicate it back and forth. But if you don't show your profession, because she wasn't fired, she was just on maternity leave, and her little, I could do her job. I can get on there and tell a few jokes and gossip about our pain and champ talk and give y'all some precious stories and stuff. But that's just a communication. The other girl, that's what she went to college for. So she's wanting to use her college diploma. Jess is social media influencer, and she's catching a break. And she has to understand that she has to think forward because, again, you're speaking to the dynamics of this feminist rhetoric. You talked about a handicap. You talk about a handicapped child, and you just have a child, and you became a baby mama, repeating the backward cycle that we're trying to get away from. You have to walk very carefully, communicate with the young lady, come up with some hell of a stories and some good content, and y'all can rock out. Then y'all might be able to branch out. But this here is...
You're right. But here's where the conflict sometimes sets in. Is because corporate America and like you said, the professionalism, quote unquote, a lot of times it's just some really underhanded, slippery stuff that people see very clearly, especially street people. And
but social media, Sean, social media allows those people to sort of get in those spaces and then take it a step further in their own lives. You see it with Stephen A. Smith. You see it with people who've had that experience. And now they're doing something.
And the difference is, you're right. Just Hilarious feels she doesn't need the Breakfast Club. She feels that it's an opportunity to grow her brand, but she was a brand before the Breakfast Club. Whereas Lauren, on the other hand, this is part of what she's trying to, how she's trying to become a brand. And so they have two different mentalities.
Yeah,
they have two different approaches. But Just Hilarious is arrogantly thinking that her brand is bigger than the Breakfast Club when the big Breakfast Club brand is bigger than her.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Say nah.
Exactly. and that's where she's also having conflict. She's feeling like she's Charlemagne, so to speak, who is the heart of the Breakfast Club, and she's not.
Mike said they did her wrong. So
now they did do her wrong and not communicating. But see, you don't fight at people's level, especially when it comes to corporate America. You don't fight at their level because, especially saying things like, "Oh, well, I don't need this job," and I could just go back to my shows. Then go.
No, you can't say that.
Then go.
You're right, but no, you're wrong as well.
You're on maternity.
You're right, but you're wrong. You're right. She can't, but you're wrong because she is contracted, and that contract means a lot in corporate America, and she understands that. And in the entertainment industry, I understand it. Yes, they can buy her out of her contract, but usually that's not a smart move for corporate.
Why ain't it? They bigger than her. They get another comedian to go in there.
No, but if that was the case, they wouldn't have waited 5 months to get it. That's not as easy as you think.
They brought in a bunch of people to they brought in a bunch of people, and they didn't feel like those people worked well with the show. They did.
I understand that, but again, with issues starting to happen in people's personal lives and life, and it's coming to the public eye, they don't do well with allowing that to maintain a space on social media. From
the standpoint of a coach and sports, perhaps, but in this portion of the entertainment industry, that's
right.
Exactly.
That's what I was. That's what I was gonna say. Because if you got to go back to the whole time that the Breakfast Club has been on, more times than not they're airing. More times than not they're coming on the show. Well, a lot of times they come on the show to air out drama. One of their biggest, most viral moments was the Birdman going on there after having beef with Charlemagne. One of the
but it wasn't two workers though. It wasn't two workers.
But then they had the drama with Angela Yee, the third host that was there beforehand, but she was already looking to move on to do her own thing. She was trying to get her own show, but they had to salvage the relationship for like another year and a half before her show opened up. But even during that time, they still had on-air drama going on. And like, you know what I'm saying? But that is a part of their show though. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, when Tyrese and Envy got beef, they they bring them on. Tyrese go on the show, they air it out right there and there. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that
the content, man, still content.
Days of the feminist conversations are on today. Decline.
And they just signed a deal. They just signed a deal with Tubi to release their whole episodes on.
That's the show, not
I know. I'm saying I know the Breakfast Club by itself. Yeah, right.
The point that's being
I just hope they work it out. That's all.
But Ferg, the point that's being made, and you saying not on the show, we're sitting here talking about it. This is why
today.
No, what
April they'll be like, we don't want it.
Is that their ratings are higher than ever today, and that's what they look for. Yeah. That's the heart of what they look for. And when they have stories, it's kind of like having a storyline. When you got a storyline that allows people to tune in, because that's the game, that's the business of it. People tuning in, not these characters, not their personal beats, not their lives. They don't care about that. They care about people tuning in. This is what helps people tune in.
So y'all think that show will survive if they continue to beef all the way through the show episodes?
They're not going to beef too much more, man.
That's what I'm saying. Long they can, I just hope they can work it out.
Y'all don't think they're gonna beef like every day on the show, but I think
that's all.
They just have to figure out the dynamics of the show. They have to figure out, and it has to just be a clear direction of where, okay, this is gonna be Lauren's time, this is gonna be her time. If they do something combined, this is gonna be that time. Donkey of the Day time. They just gotta figure it out like that, and they gotta communicate with both people.
Those two have to communicate so they can work on their segment together, because I think that's a good catch to the show. If she do the news and she just come in with the little comedy, but just keep it separate or merge it, because that should have worked together.
Well, to be honest with you, Ferg, that's already in the process. What they were airing out was the fact that it wasn't communicated, and that's why we're talking about it with the topic being communicated.
That's Jess's fault, though.
No.
Yes, because she invited the girl in. She know what the girl do for a living.
No,
I would have been calling about that fourth week. Hey, girl, what's up with the project? What you talking about?
It was Envy and Charlemagne. It was Envy and Charlemagne.
Exchange number. Okay, they unprofessional is all I'm saying.
No, they did. It was Envy and Charlemagne's reason why this blew up.
Literally in the clip, Charlemagne just deflected. When it was really starting to get to him, he's like, "No, let's go up," because it was basically he could have resolved it.
But Envy did take, Envy
added fuel to the fire.
Right, but Envy did take accountability for it though. Envy was like, Envy was like, yo, that's our fault that we didn't communicate, and I do feel like we do kind of just run the show any kind of way, willy-nilly, and like we didn't communicate with either one of y'all about it. We just thought that it was working. We didn't know that it was anything that it was crazy like that. So now that we know that, you know, that y'all put it like, you know, in our face, so to say, pause, like we have to do better and actually like organize some shit over here rather than being unorganized.
Right. And that's true. And that's why they have a good dynamic between Charlemagne and Envy, because Envy will step in and take it more professional, where Charlemagne will stay in his entertainment character mode. And you know, it works sometimes it doesn't. When it starts getting out of hand, then the execs start coming in, the producers start coming in and starting to shape it differently. But to your point, Ferg, you're right. It should be an easy fix, and I think it is going to be an easy fix with this scenario. But again, playing all of the parts, Charlemagne really understood what he was playing. He wanted to ignite it. He wanted it to come out on air so that they can it can add a storyline to this whole quote unquote entertainment radio business, and that's what they did.
Okay. So he's one of the messiest people on what's that? The media.
You know,
he's one of the messiest pieces.
You know who groomed him? Wendy Williams. You know who?
Well, he's a male version of Wendy Williams. Yeah. So
Howard Stern, Wendy Williams. So yeah, that's what they. Yeah.
Hey, the one thing I know we go move on soon. The one thing that I do give Charlotte.
No, but I'm just the girl.
the
I
one
mean,
thing,
I know, but I'm just the girl.
That's Wendy. That's Wendy in that clip. I'm dead. Now, the one thing I do give Charlemagne is Charlemagne has branded himself and turned his brand around tremendously as far as going from a guy who was trying to smell Nicki Minaj's seat and all this shit on the Breakfast Club and all that when she got up, or Mariah Carey, and then it went from like that and being a just a straight troll to, you know, making it to like, you know, Fox News, CNN, and writing books and doing all of these things, and then expanding out to podcasts and do like he has turned himself into, you know, something that I'm sure that people didn't think was going, especially after he almost got jumped in the streets. I know people thought he probably was just gonna get taken out, and go get beat up, you know what I'm saying? But he turned himself, he turned himself, you know, from just a wacky kind of crazy, nobody take you serious type of person on radio to like, we actually take you serious and, you know, we see you got something to offer. So I give him credit for that. But he definitely he definitely wanted Jess to play into the drama. He had texted her and said, no, don't apologize for saying shut up. Keep saying shut up so she could get mad, basically. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
You don't even like him because he's dark skinned, Frank.
Yes,
hey, I got
y'all saw it looking like too.
Well, to your point, Frankie, to your point, genius behind Howard Stern, a Wendy Williams, a Charlemagne, a Star, and people don't really recognize it often because it always looks messy, but it's very calculated and it's very genius on the way that they do it. So to your point, yes, he's brilliant at what he does. And Wendy Williams is brilliant at what she did. I remember gaining a respect for Wendy when I took an artist up to see her, and it was and literally we were in between the air, and the artist was trying to talk to her, and she was like, no, we can't talk unless it's on the air, because he was starting to say some things that was a little salacious. I don't want to hear nothing, and she would have in front of her newspapers, magazines, everything, looking for clips to talk about. So there's a real genius behind what it is that they do. And when she segued into television, it worked well. And it was very calculated.
Okay, so the calculated conversation can show that people can communicate. I mean, they don't have to go as far as throwing fists and things of that nature. However, we do see two different communication styles for sure. And I was going to say, you know, you have girls like Jess Hilarious in the workforce, and you have girls like Lauren in the workforce, right? There are girls like Jess Hilarious that'll walk into a job like, I don't need this job. I don't know why y'all ain't communicating with me. I don't need this job that just go in there and just say whatever they want and say it however they want with their neck rolling and, you know, cuss out the boss and then leave, right? And then you have women like Lauren who's like, no, I got to be a little bit reserved. I got to play this game for the long game and not just for the short game. And while she may have this communication, you know, interaction with Lauren, she still wants to be able to look back on this because, again, it's going in her portfolio, right? Yeah, they want the ratings, they want the drama of it all. But even in the drama of it all, you should still be able to carry yourself a certain type of way. And the way that Jess carries herself just aligns with her brand. And so it doesn't seem as though she's out of line. But even with the way that Jess is speaking, if it wasn't on radio where, you know, you need the ratings and things of that nature, if she was in a boardroom with people, that just the way that she was communicating wouldn't fly. It wouldn't fly. Telling people to shut up and hush, and she's like, well, you know, you do overtalk people, so the only way to get you to calm down is to tell you to shut up. There's no way you're gonna say that in a boardroom.
Where are paying that? Because I tend to disagree with that last statement because we have a president who does it right now.
The president came from reality TV. I'm talking about in corporate America. I've been in plenty of boardrooms where there's no communication of that nature.
I understand.
There's no communication like that at all.
I work in corporate America for several years. I get it, but that's part of. You're right, but that's part of why corporate America is sometimes where you have or you create your own brands, because corporate America can be stuffy, can be politically correct, can be and plays a lot of games. You just finished saying she's playing the game. Corporate America is a big game. And people who are looking at the game and understanding the game, they're like, yo, I'm either, if I'm not in it, I'm not playing the game. But if I get in it, you got to play the game. I get it. You're right.
You do. I mean, you do. is what comes with the territory. But again, the communication styles there are very different. But I do feel as though Jess was justified in feeling the way that she did. I just feel as though she could have just went about it in a little bit, a little bit of a better way.
In fairness, you are more corporate than most people, correct?
Yeah.
So that's why you feel that way. I get it. I'm not disputing.
Right, I mean, I know the other side of the tracks too. Don't get it twisted.
Right,
I know,
but what I'm saying is, but
I also
you
know
you lean more corporate than you do the other side of the track, correct?
It's not about being corporate. It's just about being true to myself and the way that I come off. It's not necessarily corporate. It's just that I was raised correctly.
I mean, I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is, you're absolutely right, but you do lean more corporate. People who don't lean corporate don't always feel that sentiment.
Well, again, there's corporate and just being raised correctly. If you come from an environment where there's cursing and like there's people who curse around their children. They will curse up a storm. They'll curse at their children. They will be in arguments with their children, right? And so that's what their children knows. And so when it comes to conflict resolution, that's the energy that child is going to bring to the table. It has nothing to do with corporate or, I mean, work-wise, yes, I come from a very corporate background, but at the same time, it does come with who raised you. You know how I have that thing, like who raised
you? T.K. Kirkland. I agree. You know where I would say where we're having this is because we have the entertainment business really. What we're talking about is the entertainment business and corporate America trying to merge and having these overlaps, and that's why we're having these discussions. It's because you're right. If it's corporate, it should be corporate. If it's entertainment, it should be entertainment. This is that overlap of where they meet, and it really doesn't always make sense.
No, it doesn't. And when you're trying to get, I understand it. When you're trying to get the ratings and things of that nature, you have to do things that wow the people, that will have the people, clicking on the clips. Like Frank was saying, he's never really seen the Breakfast Club clipped up the way that it has been. They may have 1 or 2 clips a day of what has happened on their show, but they rely on you going to the show to actually watch it. They'll put the most interesting ones up. But with this one, they've put a few clips of this interaction out there. And then, of course, you have Jess on her social medias doing what she do and speaking her opinion about it. Jess with the mess, that's just her brand, right? And so she gonna bring the mess. So she doesn't necessarily have to play a game per se, because she's made her brand who she is in the social media world, where there really are no rules, right? You make up your own rules. And so when you're on a radio station where it's just like, okay, we're going to allow you to be who you are, and we're going to allow, that brand that you have to come with you, that's fine. But at the end of the day, there are still protocols and, to certain things. Now, she did say that they run it like a high school. So she could have been an advocate to bringing some type of order to the platform as well, because sometimes you do have to speak truth in order for things to change. And the truth of it is, okay, we really don't like DJ Envy had took accountability for it. We do run it a certain type of way. You know, we do need some order, some type of organization. You know, that does come with corporate. You know what I mean? There's never not really a day where you don't know what's expected of you in corporate America. You know what's expected of you. You have to be accountable to, you know, your supervisor, your boss, whoever it is. You know what's expected of you, and you know when you get out of line what the repercussions are.
And let me add this jewel part of the game. They are just got a contract with Tubi, and to the points that you said they were doing clips, and now they're doing more a variety of longer sessions and longer things, because they're having a whole show air on Tubi, which is another planting of the seed that this corporate America does. So a lot of times corporate America is pulling these strings just to have, like Charlamagne said, and our property is higher than him. Yo, let them go ahead. They stir the pot. In reality TV, they put liquor in the middle of two emotionally unstable people so that they can go ahead and see how it comes out. And hence, this is what reality-based TV is, but this is similar to the whole structure of reality TV. This is reality radio.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate reality of it.
Yep.
But
all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead, Coach Burt.
No, just, you know, looking at it from this perspective now that this has sort of played itself out, you know, for anybody else who's trying to move in that lane, just make sure you're a little bit more organized before you have to air it out on the air. It doesn't look good. You'll be on YouTube, on Precious Show. We'll be talking about you. Everybody else will do it. But, you know, if you're going to do business, do it professional, you know, but you can still have your fun while you're doing it. But just when you're starting out, you're trying to build your brand, make sure that you are professional and you're communicating with everybody so everything can run smooth, so you won't have these hiccups. You know, it's good entertainment, or is it really entertainment? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. All of them could take advantage of it. Anybody trying to move in that space, because there's some young, talented people out there, and YouTube is allowing people to sort of have a voice. But I would just hope that they can show those talents by working together. Communication. You know, it's the number one thing about it all. Communication. Communicate with the people that you do business with. You know, everybody knows where the money is. So.
Yeah, they definitely at this point, you know, it should go nowhere but up. You know, like y'all said, I didn't know about the contract with Tubi. You know, they should be wanting to grow in a positive direction and not in a negative direction. But sometimes you do have to have those uncomfortable conversations, not necessarily in front of cameras and for the world to hear. But if I'm going to say, you know, would I rather listen to that or watch, you know, the baddies? I'll listen to, you know, Just Hilarious and Lauren, you know, try and work out their issues on the radio instead of watching the baddies. You know, I prefer that. So, you know, you don't really see that amongst women, where it's, you know, we're going to talk it out. By the third syllable, somebody swinging an arm or throwing a drink or doing something crazy. And I'm glad that they were able to have that conversation, but at the same time, they definitely could handle that behind the scenes. But we know with it being in close and up personal, it is going to bring those ratings. But I did want to show the different type of communication styles between the women, because again, you do have to think down the road, and Jess is not a new mother because she does have a son who is about, I think, 12, maybe 13, but she does have a baby. And, not to say she's not out here hustling and doing what she's doing for her family. I don't know what the father does. I don't know what his occupation is. But at the same time, you want to show yourself in a different, like she sounded like the father up there trying to plead her case or trying to, air out her frustrations. I understand that you're frustrated, but at the same time, that masculine side should not come out like that. It should not come out like that. But then again, that's just part of who Jess Hilarious is, and she's going to show it wherever to whoever, and she don't care. But at the end of the day, you do have to think down the line and the long haul, because I mean, somebody can turn off that master switch to all this internet streaming services, all of that, and then what do you have? Right? You have to be able to carry yourself in such a way that your value goes where you go, and not your value can be just stripped away from you because you put this content on this screen and people are tuned in. It can be stripped away. And so what do you have left when it is stripped away?
Well, you're right, but here's one of the things, and I'm gonna say this, and I'll leave it here. Corporate America, the people who are in control, they allow this and they understand this. And let's not get it twisted. Like, if to everybody's point, if they didn't want this, they could easily buy out that contract. But they understand, and this is what they want. You think people in corporate America is not happy with the, again, ratings through the buffoonery or the clashing of these black women, or whether it be black men, or what? This is what they design it as and for. And until we understand that, it will continue. But the point is, to everybody's point, do you think corporate America don't allow this? It is not aware of what's going on? You think they didn't allow her in that building? You need an access key to get in that building. To get up to that floor, you need an access key. You think they did? They could have shut off either one of their access keys immediately. They did it. So they understand what they're doing, why they hired the Jess Hilarious, Jess with the mess, because she got the mess. And the mess is what sells to our audiences. So, let's not get it twisted that they're in control or they have as much. They are just pawns in this chess game of this corporate entertainment conglomerate called radio. Well, I ain't gonna name them. I'll just leave it there. Because it ain't radio, and I don't want to get canceled. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, I'm just saying it's bigger than us.
Okay. All right. So we have one more video to go through, and then we out of here. Okay. Again, we're talking about communication. If you're just joining us, hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time we go live. This video I came across, and it is talking about communication between men and women. So we're gonna play the video and we'll get into it.
I don't want you to talk them out of their feelings. Right. They just want their feelings acknowledged. Well, here.
Can you guys see it? Oh, let's take it.
Talk them out of their feelings.
Right.
They just want their feelings acknowledged. Well, here I am trying to help you with your feelings.
So you went to therapy? You go to therapy?
Yeah. I think it's really helpful.
Yeah. You know what my therapist told me? Are you arguing for right, or are you arguing to be right?
Ooh. What'd you answer?
You already know. I'm trying
to be right.
Right.
Yeah. But
and she said, Shannon, Shannon, you're communicating. She said, you're going to have to communicate in a language that she understands.
Yes.
She said, right now, you're speaking Mandarin and she's speaking Spanish.
Yes.
So either she learns Mandarin or you learn Spanish so you guys can communicate.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to work.
And she's not going to learn Mandarin.
Before we go on, do you agree with that? That when you're having a communication block barrier, that one of you should learn the language of the other person? And do you go into it with the thought that she's not going to learn your language?
I don't agree with that at all.
That's what he said at the end. So I just wanted to
No, I hear him. I don't agree. I think you should make the first move if you're the bigger person, right? Because I'm familiar with that. But your wife, if you're a man, should want to learn your language too. You don't get off the hook. Nobody gets off the hook, man.
Nobody.
I hear you. I agree with you. But here's to as a leader to create the communication and have it be successful. I would always think to the point of if I go to another country and I'm trying to be understood. Am I going to, and I know a little bit of their language, am I going to try and correct them on the language or try and get my point across so that we're understanding each other? And that's kind of, I'm like, I'm going to try and understand. So I'm going to try and understand and tell them the language that I'm speaking. Yes, they got to try as best, but I ain't worried about them trying because I'm trying. If I'm going out there and I'm saying, I need some food and I don't know how to get it across and I need the food, I'm like, hombre, on the Fudo, I'm going to try and create and understand.
We got to work with your analogies, man.
Picking up scenarios, man, on the go.
Well, I mean, he's kind of right though. Like, you don't even have to go to another country for that. You have other speaking people that work at your job, and if you all have to work together to get something accomplished, then it is in your best interest to learn their language, just like it's in their best interest to learn your language if you're trying to get a common goal accomplished. Because learn your language, but if you don't know what I'm saying in English, all you know is what I'm saying to you, but I don't understand what you're trying to communicate with me.
But I think we all said the same thing just now. I think we all said the same thing. I said that. I said, the first person who knows that we have a language problem should try to correct themselves, but that doesn't let the other person off the hook.
And as far as a relationship,
right? Especially in a marriage. But so if I'm going to another foreign country, this is why this analogy doesn't work. I have to learn how to speak their language. They don't have to give a crap about whether I know my language.
Exactly.
So all I'm just trying to say is, but what you just said, Precious, I agree with you 100%. In a corporate setting,
where you're working together with someone, it doesn't necessarily you're going on vacation, and you're right. They don't have to learn your language. It would be beneficial for you to know theirs, so you know the dangers and you're aware of things. But when you're working with someone, whether it be a professional relationship or
I agree with that
one, you definitely should be learning each other's language and not one or the other. It definitely however what
take the first move though, somebody usually has to be more
because it comes back to communication, like the video we just saw previously. Like in any woman that I've dated all my life, I've never just argued with her just to be right. Even times when I was on some BS, I wasn't gonna sit there and argue back. I just shut my ass up and not say nothing until I go find out what I'm gonna say. But I'm not gonna just argue to be right, but I will argue the right point. I will, what I'm saying? I've never been with a woman I'm just arguing with her just to be right. If I make some stupid moves, I'll just be quiet about it. Like, you know what, you're right. I should have listened. I should have did something else. But now that it's over, I got to move on. But as far as, I ain't going to argue with nobody. If I'm right, hey, I'm arguing I'm right. But then I ain't going to be so, I guess, over the top that I just, just get stupid. I'll be like, you know what? I was tripping when I was excited. Just communication, really, I ain't really had no problems with, when no woman is trying to argue points and shit. If it's right, we're going to go with what's right. If I was wrong, shit, I shut up. And if she was wrong, I'll be like, hey, you wrong. And if you don't want to apologize and say I wasn't that invested in you. I just moved the hell on. Because I wasn't living with you, so I'll talk to you another day. When you calm down, you call me. Other than that, it is what it is.
Okay. We're gonna keep on with the video.
Mandarin. I'm just gonna let you know. They're not gonna learn Mandarin. They know what they know.
Okay.
And they just the feelings need to be acknowledged. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
But we feel, at least I don't know, I feel it's like, if I do something and it bothers you.
Right.
Right? But it's not my intention to hurt you.
Right.
Right? And I apologize for it.
Right.
My fear is that you will think that was my intention.
Right.
My fear is that you're going to you're going to think that I wanted to hurt you by saying that. So here I am trying to explain it away. I'm like, no, what I really meant was da-da-da. And they don't need that.
Right.
They just need you to go, oh man, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. And the second you say that, they go, oh, thank you so much for acknowledging that feeling. It's done after that. It's kind of crazy. Here we are trying to like talk them out of their feelings. It's a waste of time.
So what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's a waste of time trying to talk a woman out of her feelings instead of just acknowledging them for what they are?
I can agree with that.
I can definitely agree with that. It's not gonna work trying to talk them out their feelings. Once their feelings are hurt, a woman's feelings are hurt, she's going to express that. And the more that you talk, the more that she's gonna think that you don't understand what the hell she's saying. That's what happens majority of the time. You're like, no, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just coming from it from this but you like, I don't feel like you're validating me now. Like because I'm trying to give you my feelings on a platter, and you're not even getting what I'm saying. And they will continue to say it like, yo, you're not understanding me, you're not getting what I'm saying. Like, I'm telling you, and now I feel invalidated because you're still trying to explain this away instead of just saying my bad. Like, my bad, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. That's my fault this time, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Yeah, the more you try to explain he's right, that shit continues, and it continues to be a communication block. Like, the whole time it's like she's not really hearing nothing you gotta say, because you still haven't said my bad yet. You still haven't said sorry yet. I apologize yet. So everything that you're saying is just that Charlie. What's that? What was that shit? Yeah, that's it. That's all she hear from you. She see your lips moving, and it's Charlie Brown. Womp 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 womp. That's it. The rest of that shit go out. And then when you say thank you, it's like, oh, huh? Oh, okay, well, now I get what you're saying now. Now all of a sudden she understand everything that you said, but you had to get to that thing and that my bad first.
I also agree, even though I learned it the hard way. Because boy, oh boy.
What you mean you learned it the hard way?
Meaning that I was but you ain't, man, everything Mike just said,
that was me.
I'm
That was me. That's how I know. Hey, listen, that's how I knew, Sean.
You're right.
Man, oh man, just you're right. And what frustrates me about it is that it's almost not. It doesn't give a resolution. It just gives a Band-Aid, and it's you you understand that's putting a Band-Aid, but that's all right. It's kind of like, let me kiss it for you. It's all better now. That's what it's like. The mentality comes from a mother sometimes, where she's like, let me kiss it for you. Oh, let mommy make it feel better. And that's what they want too. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, coming from a woman's perspective, so they're definitely right when they say that women want you to acknowledge where they're coming from. It's part of the communication process that a woman goes through in her mind, at least, right? So when she's airing out her grievances or telling you how she feels, and you're like, yeah, but I didn't mean it that way, and that wasn't my intent. And your intent is your intent? And we're gonna get to that in the video because about to call him Charlemagne. Shay was trying to he was trying to get there with this guy, but they got into a little bit about counseling. But your intent is what you're meaning to do or not meaning to do. It doesn't mean that it comes off that way to the other person. And so even with saying, you know, I can see how you feel the way that you feel, but I want to let you know that that wasn't my intent. And I do apologize for you feeling that way, but I'm just letting you know that wasn't my intent. Throwing that in there somewhere actually progresses the conversation further with a woman. And a lot of men don't think so. A lot of men feel like they don't have to put that communication piece in there. And even for women to men, because there are times, women will try to argue to be right, and men just want that. But do you see where I'm coming from? Do you hear where I'm coming from? Did you hear anything that I just said? And so for both sexes, it's important to put that in there because then you can get to a common ground, right? She's telling you that she's feeling a certain way, whether it's up here or down here. When you're not validating what she's saying to you, she's going to keep going like this. When you validate what she's saying to you, now you guys can be here, right? Now you can be here and you can have the conversation. That wasn't my intent. I can see how you feel that way. What would make it, how can we proceed and you feel better about this? Or what can I do differently so you're not necessarily feeling that way? Especially if it wasn't your intent, then you'd be willing to either change or modify or kind of course correct while you're going through this. Because if it's not your intent, then you won't have no animosity towards her when she's giving you her feelings. Because I think a lot of times when women give men their feelings, men feel like they back her against the wall, right? Like, you giving me all your feelings and I don't know what to do with them. When maybe sometimes you just need to hug the feelings. Like, oh, I know why you're feeling this way. I know, and a lot of times men do know why women are feeling the way they do. Sometimes it's pride is not allowing you to get out, or you don't even want to tell her that she's right. You don't want to admit that what she's feeling is actually valid. And so you try to talk her out of those feelings. You try to talk her, the arguer. You try to talk her out of those feelings because you don't want to validate your wrongness, and then her feelings are bringing on that pressure onto you. And I'm not saying that's anybody up here on this panel. I'm just saying that it happens, right? It happens in relationships. And so being able to validate those feelings, being able to embrace how she's feeling instead of, shunning it away. That's how a lot of women end up saying, I just wasn't happy. Honestly, it leads up to, it starts with small conversations or disagreements. And then it ends with, oh, I just wasn't happy. I want to leave. A lot of times women do say things to men over and over and over and over and over again. And it goes one ear and out the other. It is not until she's out the door where he's like, oh, wait, what was you trying to say again? Oh, I get it now. I wasn't trying to, and so you do have to be mindful of those things. I've had plenty of conversations with people who, my wife tried to tell me, my wife was doing this and I didn't know this. She said this a million times and I wasn't acknowledging it. And then things happen and you get to the other side of that thing when you could have stayed on one side of that thing had you acknowledged, had you listened, had you paid attention. So for some people, it got to get worse before it get better. But before it get worse, just acknowledge the feelings. Y'all know women are emotional, but men don't want to deal with those emotions because y'all not emotional.
Well, I am emotional, and everything you're saying is stirring up that emotion because I'm just feeling like Man, as much as I just said, yeah, as much as I just said, yeah, I'm guilty of it, you just stirred up the emotion of why I'm guilty of it. Because sometimes what you're saying and what you want us to validate is some nonsense, some irrational, emotional nonsense. And unfortunately, we got to deal with that nonsense. And so I'm learning, but I just had to say that I'm emotional right now because you done triggered that emotion. No, I'm just messing around.
Well, I mean, if you think it's nonsense,
I don't think it's nonsense. What I'm talking about is when it really is nonsense. Sometimes, men, I'm on some nonsense. I get it. But a lot of times, when I'm saying it's not, if I can admit it's nonsense, why can't you?
Because I can't admit that
that's
I'm
such
wrong.
a loaded question. Men are way more logical than women are, so it may be nonsense. You probably right. I'm gonna get it to you, Sean. You probably 120% right. It's probably nonsense, bull crap. Just why we even here? You wasting my time. The game is on. I want to crack me open a cold beer. I want to go sit on a patio and light my cigar. I want to, I want to do all these things.
Now you're talking, Precious. Now you're talking.
I can't find my baby. Right? Like, I want to do all these things. But when you're in a relationship, you do have to inquire about what is going on and why she is, the purpose of the leader is so that when the follower is lost or drifts off a little bit, you know how to kind of put her right back on track. You know how to get her from that psychotic, train of thought down to reality, right? And no, this shouldn't be all the time. This shouldn't be everyday type of thing. But women are going to be women, right? Even the most perfect woman is still her mind, she's gonna get in a brain fog at one point, or she's gonna get into overload, or she's gonna overdo and be, tired and can't think straight and not make the right decisions. That's when the man comes in with his logical mind and says, you know what, you're not yourself when you're hungry. Eat a Snickers. Like, that's when y'all come in.
The funny thing is, I say that often. You know what? You remember that Snickers commercial? I say that often.
Yeah, like, she's off. She, when women go through their cycles, literally, right? And so you have to know just as well she got to know and be on it. But when she's not, there's going to be a psychotic, episode every now and again. But that's where that, that I don't have 90, I might have 10% today, right? And that's where that man comes in and bring 90, or I may have 50 and you might have to bring the other 50 and vice versa and things of that nature. That's where that comes in at. And that's why men need women and women need men, because the way our mind goes, we do need someone that's not like that in order to get us back together and the right mindset, and like almost like a reset. And it's not to say that this woman is just a wild chick, because again, a woman is going to be a woman. It's just to say that you know how to get her back down to her even kill self. And that's a good thing, because every man shouldn't know how to do that for her. Like, every man shouldn't know how to get her to a certain place. That should only be a you job. You should know her well enough to say, you know what, my baby tired, or I know, she had a long day, or, I know her family is going through X, Y, and Z, and it's taking a toll on her. And so that's why she's tired, or that's why she's snippy, or that, so it should only be you that's able to collaborate her, like, get back, like a scale kind of gets off and you gotta turn that little knob to collaborate a little bit. Like,
I got one for you, Precious. I got one for you. You said something. Why do we need y'all again? Why do men need y'all? I know you said for men. Why do we need y'all?
You need us because, you know, men are visionaries. You guys have your plan, right? And so women, God created women to help you carry out your plan. And to help you.
Good answer. Wow, that was a good answer.
No, you're right. I agree with that.
We're here to help you, you know, build your empire and help you, you know, in ways that you're not nurturing your business or little things that you don't think are going to be beneficial for you because you're thinking up here and you're thinking of the high level plans and you're thinking of the money flowing in and you're thinking of all those things up here. Well, you might need some services that you're not really thinking of down here that your time really shouldn't even be going to. You should be up here for high level stuff. The woman,
right,
the low level things, and to make those and to nurture those things, so you don't have to worry about those things.
Right, but then when we say that, we become narcissists.
No. Hold on. But you're right. Women are a force multiplier. You know, you got the right woman in your life.
That was a great book answer.
Yeah,
that's the truth. That is what women are here for.
That's why I called it a great book answer, right? Because you gave a sort of a description of what roles women could be playing in a man's life. You gave it from a biblical text, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's a great book answer. But if you answer Arpane's question, as you see today, what could a woman bring to a man's life outside of, you know, the business part? We in the house together. You know what I'm saying? What could a woman bring?
Outside the business part?
Yes.
Outside the business part, I still think that women bring a certain stability, just like men bring a certain stability. We bring that nurturing, peaceful.
The word is purpose. Women give a woman in a man's life, he gives her purpose. She gives us purpose. That's why, you know, I think men who are really with the women they want and have a family and children, my wife gives me a purpose. No, not the purpose that I had to achieve, but the purpose that I want to make sure she's okay and the family thrives and we don't fall into hard times. Those are the things I think about, right? So she don't have to worry about that. So women, when they say married men live longer, even though we die before the women, it's because we have something to live for.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When we have something to live for, we hang around, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, even though our wives outlast us, but I mean, you want to see how, especially if you have kids, you want to see how many chapters can you see before you go? You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. So women do that for you. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'd do without my wife. I'm telling you, I'll say that freely.
Arpane, listen.
Good answer, Arpane. Keep looking. Keep hooking.
Now that I'm here, I agree with Arpane 100% on that, on Arpane. Because listen, we ain't going back out on them streets. No. We ain't going. And that's just, you know what you said, Precious. If women could be that part of a man's life, sort of his peace, and not even, you know, and that requires everything within the home aspect. Everything within the home aspect. You know, because black fathers don't have no problem coming home from work and playing with their kids. They ain't got no problem with that. We might even, you know, if it's still early enough, we might throw some football. We'll do that. You know, but a lot of other things sort of have to be ironed out. And everybody just has to play their role. It'll work. But again, this is the the modern times, and people are not looking at marriage as a viable thing now, because everybody's going to the money first and everybody coming into it broke already, which makes no sense to me. And I ain't saying you ain't got no money, but we put more into the show of let's feed everybody some dry chicken instead of saying, how can we make our house grow and our finances grow as we work and build together? I think people sort of dismiss that element of it, because I ain't seen a woman work harder than my wife. You know, And she knows she can rely on me to make sure the roof ain't falling in like I pay. My wife leave the house 4 days a month. I sleep in to 4 or 5 o'clock, but I'm out in the weather because I'm outside. I can take care of stuff. You know, but everybody has to play a role, man. So if you want to date my wife, you got to come around to the basement. And my dog will bite you too if you come up in here without me. So be careful.
I'm just gonna let y'all married men cook because y'all cooking. I'm gonna sit back and be a single man, take notes.
So it's a different video. Is just a continuation of this one.
It's a continuation.
Dad, you mentioned your daughter.
He not even listening.
I
You
heard
see that?
No, because but here's the
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
And well, and they don't need that.
right.
They just need you to go, oh man, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. And the second you say that, they go, oh, thank you so much for acknowledging that feeling. It's done after that. It's kind of crazy. Here we are trying to like talk them out of their feelings. It's a waste of time.
Dad, you mentioned your daughter.
He not even listening.
I heard
You see that?
No, because but here's the thing.
I'm trying to help him.
No,
I'm trying to help him, guys.
but here's
I'm
the
trying
thing.
to help him.
You keep using the word intent.
Yes.
Intent only matters to you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
They don't care about your intent.
No, because
hurt
they're
them.
equal. Yes.
Stop
yes.
trying to tell yo, this guy is diabolical. Don't explain to me what I just explained to you.
No.
That was insane.
No, but
your girl got no chance.
Here's the thing.
Your girl got, sweetheart, you got no chance. He's gaslighting me.
Manslaughter and murder.
Yes, manslaughter and murder.
What's the difference?
Manslaughter sounds more sexual.
It's intent.
Oh, yeah.
Intent.
You never had a girl give you some manslaughter?
No. Intent only matters to the defendant.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
The victim is just as dead.
Is dead. Is dead. You're 100%.
So you said, well, that wasn't my intent.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
She's still equally as hurt.
She's over there hurt.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yeah,
and now you explain it back to me.
You know, I understood. I went to therapy. I went to therapy before you. I went to therapy before you, so I totally understand.
Therapy is great.
It is.
Like, I listen, it's difficult to do it, but I think that there's this like stigma on it, unfortunately, but you do everything. You go to rehab for your shoulder if it's messed up, right?
Yeah.
You take care of your body. You go to visit doctors for every other thing. You have to nurture.
Right.
You have to nurture. Like, I would tell people before they even get married, go to a therapist. Like, when you know you're going to get married, go to a therapist and have them talk you through some of the changes that are going to start to happen. Like, people have this big ego about not wanting to do it. They're like embarrassed or whatever like that. It's like, you should be embarrassed about not caring enough about your relationship to make it the best that it can be. Especially if you got a kid.
Yeah.
Like, that's the motivation for everything.
Yes.
You don't want your kid to see you arguing or bickering and that kind of stuff like that. Like, get out of your ego. Get out of your own way.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think the biggest thing is, and they was telling me, say, if you ever get married, you do understand the person you're married today is not going to be the person you're married tomorrow. So they change. People change. People evolve. And I used to think it was funny when people like, well, we just grew apart.
Yeah.
They did. Because one person evolved and the other didn't.
Yeah.
They think that's the person that they married 10 years ago or 15 years ago was the same person. They're not.
That's why you
have
got
to be willing to evolve. Yeah.
You got to check in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just ignore that evolution. But sometimes that evolution just makes things better.
Yeah.
It makes things closer.
The
Relationships are beautiful.
The only constant is change.
Yes. Yes. So you have to embrace that change.
Yes.
So that was the end of it. And they went out, talking about the intent. Your intent might be your intent, but that doesn't mean that it didn't land the way that you didn't want it to. It landed in a way that you didn't intend to. And so if that is the case, then it's okay to use your communication skills to say, that wasn't my intent. I understand why you feel the way that you do. There's nothing wrong with using those words because, like they said, the only inevitable thing that we have is on earth is change. Things are going to change. It's 2025. Next year is going to be 2026. And social media might be changed by then. They tried to take Twitter away and people wasn't okay with that change. So they brought it right back, even though I think that was a ploy.
TikTok.
Things just change.
Yeah, TikTok.
Oh, what did I say?
Twitter.
Oh, I'm not even on Twitter. But that changed to X, okay? Didn't it? Didn't that change to X?
Yeah, and that was definitely a ploy, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so things change. So if things are changing like that in the world, you can't think that someone that you're in relationship with, and whether you live with them or not, that things aren't going to change. That's just an ignorant mindset. And they also, mentioned how you want to be able to communicate, because if you have children, they're like sponges. They're going to soak up everything that they see, everything that they hear. And so if you out here not knowing how to communicate with people, and going back to the Jess and Lauren thing, not saying that she communicated in a bad way, it was just a little bit abrasive, but at the same time, if they wasn't on a radio station and they was just out in the street, who knows what it would have been like. I say that you don't argue with people. I'm not going to argue with you, because from far away, it looked like two fools are arguing. You can't tell the person who's a fool and the person who's just trying to plead their case, right? And so, no, we're not going to argue. We're not going to go back and forth. So with that being said, we have to learn how to communicate. And like they said, check in. You have to check in to see how people are doing. People will, I have a friend who checks in on me, and they always say, every time I check in on you, all you say you are is fine. Fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. And there are days where I'm really fine. And then there are days where they can just hear it in my voice that I'm not fine. They don't even have to ask a question. So, checking in with the people you care about is also important, because you may never know what kind of message or word God is sending you to, give to that person. And only you can really convey that message to them. So learning how to communicate and doing that on a consistent basis actually helps you just naturally be that way. It just naturally helps you be that way. But what did you guys thinking about the second part of the video? Then we're gonna get out of here.
You know what? One thing you just said, there's nothing wrong with saying, I understand. I hear your point and I understand it. Here's my thing that's wrong with it. If you really don't understand it, why would you say it? And often people do that, and that's part of the issue, is because you just want to understand, even when somebody doesn't understand.
Well, that's simple. I mean, if you don't understand, okay. So these are not blanket words that you just throw over everything. I mean, if you don't understand, that's another avenue and gateway for you to communicate with that person.
I understand that, but it goes against the point of saying or doing what will accommodate those feelings or settle those feelings down. You can be quiet, maybe, and just kind of like, okay, I hear you. But once you say you understand and basically you don't, it causes future issues, in my opinion. And that's kind of where we go in these cycles, because we some of the things that we use as resolutions are really just coddling feelings.
Well, I think if someone says they understand but they don't, then that's someone not being real with themselves. Therefore, they can't be real with you, right? I'm never going to tell someone I understand and I don't. I don't like.
That's a good point, but again, if like we was talking about women feeling a certain kind of way, and all they want to be is validate their feelings. But if your feelings aren't making any sense to us,
you can't say that somebody
and we don't
not making any sense.
I absolutely can say it. Now you can help me make it sense.
Those feelings.
It don't matter. It doesn't. Did you hear what I said? It doesn't make sense to me.
Would you tell a child that their feelings don't make any sense?
To me, I would say yes, I would, and then I would ask them to explain it, and I would say, okay, help me understand it. So will I use those words? I don't know, but the point is, will I get to that point of help me understand it? Help me understand. I just had a father tell me about that child said their friends that, oh, we're homeless and this, that, another, and they are far from that. And I'm like, yo, that's how she felt, though. That's how the child felt. Because the parent was too strict on them and so on and so forth. But it didn't make sense. Yes, I would have told that child it didn't make sense. And yes, I would say, help me understand what you were thinking. Why do you feel that way?
Okay, well, that's a great follow-up. Those are two great follow-up questions. You don't just tell someone that their feelings don't make sense. You do want to understand where they're coming from. So, right, you could just say, right now, I'm not understanding where your feelings are coming from. Can you help me understand? There are ways to say things that don't belittle or invalidate how they are feeling. To tell someone that their feelings don't make sense, to me, is arrogant, because you're not their being. You're your being.
I mean, I hear you, and it could be looked at that way, and I'm not even disputing that. But again, it then becomes, if you're not belittling, but they feel like you're belittling, don't we realize that sometimes that's low self-esteem? Sometimes there's a root to why you feel that way. And you can't explain it, but often because it already triggered them and they were already offended by what it was that you said, they tune out. And they don't really want to hear, like they were just saying. And that's why I had to learn, because at that point, I had to learn that, you know what? Trying to make them understand or trying to help them understand what's going on right here makes no sense. Just say, you know what? I hear what you're saying. Whatever they just said on the radio. And that's why I was like, yeah, I get it. And I learned it the hard way. And that's why I said in jest that you.
Did he cut out? Sean, are you there?
Yeah. Wow. God is good.
All the time.
Perfect timing.
Look at God.
All right. Well, with that being said, we're gonna get into the final word.
Good, because he wasn't gonna let you have the final.
Sean,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is what it is. Go ahead with the final thought.
No, your audio sound bad. It's slow. Sounds sort of fun.
I hear you. All right, RP.
Oh man, jeez.
I'm sorry.
So we have final thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, this has been another good one. So we look for. Listen. Thanks for having me up. You know,
of course. I
look forward to these discussions. You know, I learn a little bit, and I like to hear you talk about the woman's perspective. I like to think that we're kind of letting you see the kind of plight that we have as men. There's a new thing out, by the way, called what's it called? The German Shepherd husband. No, the golden retriever husband. They got this thing on TikTok.
Are we dogs now?
The golden retriever. And so it's a husband who's loyal, and he's a big simp, right? And whatever the woman wants, he's there for everything. So they call him the golden retriever husband.
I'm more like the other.
So now we're dogs. I mean, it's great. And
look, so you know, I was
crazy.
away last week for work, and y'all talking about being dogs. The person that I was with, she said that at her children's school, okay, stay with me, the kids are identifying themselves as dogs and cats. Not only are they doing that, they are putting litter boxes
in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
Oh, stop!
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
And they're going along with that. I mean, the schools.
Well, they're going to be moving. She was like, "Yeah, no, me and my family are out of here. We're going." And there's some other reasons. But when she said that, I was like seriously, litter boxes in the bathroom?
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know who the local people get elected to even think that should be possible. But anyway, so it's crazy. It's out there. So I think we just maybe dodged a big bullet because it would have been worse. But anyway, listen. Hey, anybody who wants to see that live I did on BMU's channel, it's on. You can go to my channel because I put timestamps on the music.
It was good. It was good.
You know, I call it's stories and reflections of AI generated music. I thought it was pretty good.
I went on Donna Arpain, okay? I went on Donna, all right?
Okay.
And I didn't know what I was doing quite, I didn't know what I was doing. Let's leave it at that. And I created a song, right? And I was like, oh no, I want to do something else. I want to create something else. It hit me with a good old for $9.99.
That's right.
2 weeks. I said, you know what? Arpain is paying for Donna.
No, I pay. I have a yearly subscription for like $65 or something like that.
Oh, so he ain't give you the detail.
I'm retired, man. $65 to me is like order of fish and chips or some shit like that.
I ain't gonna pay how much fish and chip you eat.
I just threw that out there. That had no better example.
Can I get $1? Can I get $1, Arpain?
Would you get the sample of everything? Give me a sample of everything.
Give me a sample platter. I just threw that out there.
Hey, Arpain go to the restaurant and say, give me the whole left side of the menu.
There's no in the bag.
Listen, man, I was with a modern woman. What can I say?
Okay.
Plus me 60. Anyhow. So listen, you can go to my channel and see it because it's on there. Stories and reflections to AI generated music. Just where I have the timestamp. So if you want to skip my commentary, you can go right to the music.
How many songs did you do that night?
I put more than one. I had 12, but I only played 10.
Yeah, you was jamming. You thought you was the DJ of the night. You was right.
The worst part about it, I had a story for each one of them. You know what I'm saying? I had a story for each one. Hey, but Preston don't want to say when she got one.
The beginning was you started off real strong, but then there was a couple of ones towards the end where I was like, I just
it got a little long.
Yeah,
because the old.
Yeah, no, it take it along. Yeah, I was feeling that's when I started skipping a few. So I said I know I have to end this. Anyway, it was all right. It was something different. I just came to my head. I said, let me go see what happens.
And he owns them. He owns the rights to them and everything. Someone asks about, how does it work on YouTube with the trademark and copyright infringements and all of that. And he was like, I own this.
Yeah, Mr. DJ. What I'm saying. Anyway, so that's good.
I'm actually glad that I actually got to catch one of your lives because I'm usually working and I don't catch.
I appreciate you coming over.
I got off pretty early.
Pretty early, yeah.
My work schedule was changing a little bit, so once I get into a good rhythm, we'll go back on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
Our lives, okay. But thank you, Arpain. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you. Sean, your final thoughts.
Good night and God bless.
Amen.
I learned my
Is that really it, Sean?
Yes.
What you doing?
Well, thank you. I appreciate you. You've been rocking with me, I think, the longest out of anybody up here on this panel. So thank you. Coach
Always, thank you.
Final thoughts.
Man, again, like always interesting show. You know what I'm saying? The topics are always thought-provoking, and for the most part, everyone I've heard and saw has been realistic of how it can be applied to everyday life, you know. But, you know, just if you're going to be in a relationship, marriage, whatever, a twosome, threesome, just make sure you communicate. Neo has 3 women, but he communicates to all 3. So if you, he added another, he got 4 of them on there. Yeah. Man, ain't he the envy of all men in America right now?
They all look the same. They all look the same. So he really has one big one.
Okay, right there you go. But if you're gonna move in any capacity today, just communicate your thoughts. And if you know you a person that change your mind a lot, try to communicate every time you change your mind. Or before you change your mind, have a conversation. So then the other person might give you some more information that you're not privy to, and you'd be like, hold up, I need to make that move. But if you go off of emotions when you're making decisions, you're already starting off on the wrong foot. You're already starting off, be level-headed, get some more eyes and ears on it, just like when you're doing reports, put somebody, you know, a school report, put some more eyes and ears on it. You know, before you just make a decision, especially today in this modern world. You make bad decisions on the job and bring your feelings and emotions and all that to the job, you're going home. They're not going to hold on to those type of people no more. It's going to be a whole different type of workforce environment. Can't be bringing your feelings into the job, talking about you got a bad relationship. If you go on maternity leave, hey, we see you better call somebody, hey, what's going on at the job today? I ain't saying do it after you come off the, you know, having your baby, but when you get up and start moving around, going to get something to eat or something, just text the girl or your friend at work, girl, what they doing? What they saying about me? You know, just so you can have an understanding. But, you know, I don't know. My wife go 100 100. It is what it is. Where it always been is where it's always going to be. She don't want me no more. She can go where she going to go, and I'm going to be 100 by myself. And I'm going to have 60 for the back, 40 for the front, 60 for the back. Other than that, I ain't touching nothing else out there with a 10-foot pole because that shit messy as hell. So
I appreciate you, Coach Ferg. Thank you so much for being here. Frank, final thoughts?
Man, communication's key. Definitely agree with it. You know, the whole 50-50 thing that's gonna be around. Seems like that's gonna be around for a long time because that's a conversation that don't seem to be going anywhere no time soon. As much as that goes, yes, like intent, you know, your intent doesn't really matter when it comes to when it comes to the outcome. Like if it's a negative outcome, your intent really has no hold, no weight, no way in the situation. You know, you could have meant to say something one way and it hurt somebody's feelings, you know, that you care about. Next thing you know, they're hurt. That's the outcome of the situation. But just veterans, man, I just, you know, just be careful out here. You know, while we speaking on communication, just be careful out here because a lot of things that are changing is going to affect you. A lot of things that are changing is going to affect you. You know, at one point in time, you know, last year they wanted to hire, you know, 66,000 more people in the VA to help continue to speed things up. And now they, you know, with the cuts to 17% to they're gonna cut 83,000 jobs. So just know that in the realm of communication, bro, it's gonna get real out here. That means that, you know, getting into the VA is going to take longer for you veterans out there. And I'm in the same boat. He's gonna hit us hard. So just be wary, man. Get your shit in order. You know, talk to other veterans. Make sure you know what I'm saying, your nearest healthcare places, you know, the places with the best doctors that you can get seen, and all of that type of shit, because it's definitely gonna you're definitely gonna feel it, man. But other than that, definitely always appreciate coming over here. Always love the vibe over here and the conversations, and you know what I'm saying, the panel and the chat. Yeah, man. I of course, if you like the vibe over here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe over here, and Miss Precious, it's on you.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking out with us. Yeah, communication is key, guys. Communication is key. I know some people probably think that some people over communicate, but I would rather there be over communication than under communication, or not enough communication. So definitely, that's why I always tell people to read, read books. That's a way for you to up your vocabulary, to increase the words that you use, to find different ways to use words and things of that nature. And it may sound very studious, and it may sound very boring, and it may sound very time consuming. But it will help you in the long run, because some people just don't know how to say it better. They just don't. They just weren't raised that way. They weren't raised with that type of language or English around them. I remember when I used to work at one job, people used to come to me to write their emails because they know that they were writing it to like the big boss, and they didn't want their emotions to get in the way, or they didn't want to say the wrong things. And I would help them. I would aid them in how to, format the email, things to say, things to take out. I think it's important that we're mindful of how we communicate with others too. Your intent is yours and yours alone. And so, you may not intend for it to be a certain way, but at the end of the day, if you are with someone, if you're working with someone, then you want to be able to understand the language that they are speaking to you, just like you would want them to understand the language that you are speaking to them. And so it's important to get on each other's, level when it comes to that. One might be a great communicator where the other one sucks at it. It's like pulling teeth. And a lot of times it's more so the man than the woman. There are men who communicate just well, and then there are men who are men of few words. They don't want you all up in their business. They don't want you all up in their heart and in their soul. And that's okay. But you also have to be accountable for the things that you don't say. And so when you don't say certain things, you leave room for miscommunication, misunderstanding. And MIS means without, no communication, no understanding, no level, no even ground that you guys can communicate on. And so, it's hard to communicate with someone who is not understanding you, and not necessarily understanding you, like he said, acknowledging you. I think Sean spoke to it about understanding, like, oh, well, what if I don't understand? You don't necessarily have to understand, because there are a lot of things about women that men don't understand. And I don't even think it's for you to understand, because you're a man and you just weren't built this way. I think it's just for you to understand that you ain't going to understand it. Like, just acknowledge that you don't understand it. But you also acknowledge the feelings that are coming with it as well. You acknowledge the discomfort that comes with it. Acknowledging that makes a woman feel protected. That'll then make her feel like, oh, okay, well, he sees that I'm emotional right now. But instead of shunning that away, he's embracing that. And because he's embracing it, I know that I can be this way with him. But because he's embracing it, I know that I also can bounce back from this, right? There are times where women are just in their ways, but their man can do something and they're not in their ways anymore. They know how to bounce back from it. They're not chaotic anymore. Their brains aren't on overload anymore, because he knows how to do that one thing that brings her back. So let's just work on our communication, guys, myself included. I'm not excluded from this. I think we all need to work on communication. I'm just, I think we have to be intentional about it too. Like I told y'all last week, like I constantly listen to things that will make myself better, because this human flesh, sometimes it ain't right. And I got to get it right. Okay. And I'll just be honest. So I'll close all my shows. Child, I don't even have I should have been working on this when y'all were doing y'all final thoughts. But I close all of my shows by saying be real with yourself so you can be real with everybody else. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hit that like button on the way out, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 9:30. Have a good night, y'all.
Good night.